radio show on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals. And Barnes hits one high. It's a game. It is the all-time home run list.
Trainer right next to me is saying it. You may hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. The heavyweight champion is taking the mandatory 8 count, and Foreman is as poised as can be in a neutral corner.
Do the Titans have a miracle left in them? Touchdown Titans! There are no flags on the field! It's a miracle! Tennessee has pulled a miracle!
My Sports Radio. And here's your host, Sean Intel.
What's going on, everybody? We are back in the building. December. Bro, we're in December. Could you imagine being in December? It's miserable that we're in December, but it's okay because we're here on Hamilton Radio. You're listening to My Sports Radio with your boy, John Intel, joined by some of the greatest co-hosts in the world, my boy DM, Daniel Mercado.
What up?
Eric Sika and Tom DiFilippo from Bro Fluent. Gentlemen.
What's good?
Good
What's
to be
good?
back.
Wow, we
Good to have you, boys. Good to have you.
Guys, we have an action-packed show, and the best part about the show being huge, is that we have extra time today. I want to say thank you to Sal Angeletti from Talking Baseball for letting us extend our time because he knew 2 hours was not enough.
Not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
I know. Did I say it one more time? It's not
Say it
enough?
one more time.
No, it's not enough.
It's not enough. Is that an echo?
Bro, it's an echo. I love
right.
it, dude. Johnny Butters, what's going on? Ziva, how are you?
JP, what's
Glenny,
good?
the wild card Freeman's in the building. Ladies and gents, listen. We're talking a lot of football. We're talking a lot of baseball. I'm going to start in the New York market, and I'm going to work my way right on down.
Work it, baby.
I want to talk first about the Jets chasing history.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it.
Danny,
My man.
you are a Jets fan,
Talk to me, Goose.
unfortunately.
Yes.
And
Unfortunately for
Eric,
you.
are you a Jets fan?
Yes, unfortunately.
Tom's a Colts fan, so he's avoiding it.
Suffering
So
together.
how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you feel, my friend? I want you to tell me how you feel about your New York Jets at 0-11 trying to join very rare company. We're talking Tampa Bay Bucks. We're talking Detroit Lions. We're talking so much losing that I don't even know if you know how to win anymore. How do you feel about it, bro? Tell us.
What?
It doesn't matter how you feel. Sorry.
Win? No, I feel bamboozled.
Really?
I feel run amok. I feel led astray. These Jets have torn down my pride. They've burnt jerseys. It's terrible. Watching this team play is horrendous. I'd rather watch paint dry. I can't stand. You know what? I painted during the game. I painted my son's kid room because I was just like, you know what, it's gonna happen. And I'm watching. I'm like, and she's like, oh, you're up by 3. I'm like, don't worry, we're gonna lose. And 15 minutes later, it's 10-3, and that's like the first 2 drives, and it was over. And I was just like, this is just gonna go down. This is the call of our season. This is what it is. 2020, we have been infected. Our gameplay has been infected. Our coach has been infected. The ownership has been infected. The fandom has been infected.
You're
this
infected?
is terrible. I'm infected
I'm
with
sitting
loserdom.
next to an infected guy.
Yes, I'm infected with losing.
Oh,
It's terrible.
No, Jets fans are losers. That's true.
100%.
Eric, how do you feel about
right
the
now?
Jets,
That's
man?
what we're doing, man.
See, me on the other hand, I feel like this is a long time coming. I feel like this is needed to happen. Since the AFC Championship loss, we never got it right. We tried to replace Tannenbaum with Idzik. That didn't work out. We tried to replace Rex Ryan with Todd Bowles. That didn't work out. We didn't even let... Now, I'm of the ilk, too, of... I didn't like what Mike McCagnon did. He's not good drafting at the end of it. But he brought names to New York, and I would have wished he got the end of that season to see through what his message was. He knew he was out the door. That's why he got Le'Veon. That's why he got CJ. That's why he made those moves. But that doesn't matter anymore because he's gone. Now, Joe Douglas is there. He's getting his opportunity. We've traded Jamal. Sam's done. There's no other way to say it. Sam's done. He can go other places and hopefully resurrect his career. I wish him nothing but the best.
I believe he can.
So you're not saying he's done. He's just done in New York.
He's done as a Jet.
I mean, I think he's going to the Colts or somebody. Somebody who needs a quarterback.
I think the Colts are actually going to make a big move. I don't think they're going to get Sam Darnold. I think he's going to go to more like a Pittsburgh or maybe get
Jacksonville.
Maybe a Jacksonville if they don't like Justin Fields. It's going to be it all hovers around what Trevor Lawrence does. They're not going to move Sam until they have that pick, until they know he's coming out, and until he says he's cool being a Jet. The same way Cincinnati did it with Burrow. They didn't get rid of Dalton until
who's going to be cool being a Jet right now though?
The other thing I'm worried about is there's no guarantee we fire Adam Gase. Like, we're all under the assumption of that.
That is the key.
We don't know that that's going to happen.
It's a great point.
Hypothetical situation. Hypothetical situation.
Oh, here we go.
And I'll start over here with Tom. Hypothetical situation. The Jets go 0-16. That's actually a guarantee. That's not hypothetical. Yeah. So the hypothetical situation comes into play here. Comes here. Adam Gase stays on board, and Trevor Lawrence decides he does not want to go to New York. What happens, Tom?
At that point, they got to stick with Sam Darnold. You have no other options.
But they're almost running Sam out of town.
Yes, they are.
What if Sam Darnold
for
demands
Trevor
a trade?
Lawrence, though?
What if Sam Darnold's like, I don't want to be here either? Then what?
No, listen, I got to.
Well, then you just got more losing on the way.
Sam's been a G though.
Yeah,
Sam's been a G.
Listen,
Look at you got all these stars that we signed. Now, one thing I wanted to touch on what Eric said. Eric said how we made trades in the beginning and then we started picking up some names, and it gave life. It gave life to the name of the New York Jets because we were so abysmal. After we went to that AFC Championship, all any GM could do or head coach could do is just suffer through it. Just let me pick up a couple names. We'll go 8-8, and that was satisfactory for the ownership. That's what I can't stand.
Right, and that's what happened because we went 7-9 with Gase after starting off 1-7. And Tom knows we were in the same apartment. I was looking at him like, I don't care how we start. We might make the playoffs this year regardless of it. And we still didn't. And then we came into this year after we traded Jamal, and we said maybe they'll go 6-10, maybe they'll go 7-9 and again. Maybe we're not going to be that bad. And we were that bad. Yeah, we said around. We never thought we were going to be that great. Around the wild card spot. We never thought we were going to be a real playoff team, if anything.
100%.
And now we're looking and we're like, well, that didn't work. So what do you do? Because like you said, ownership. Chris Johnson's a big issue. I don't know if his brother would come back after all the other stuff. I don't know if he's going to be that much of a hero, but he was around when we made the AFC Championship.
I don't know
game.
about him being a hero, but I think Woody
yes.
has a better grasp of a business sense of the NFL. I think Chris was placed there when Woody became
the ambassador.
All right. Once they put him in there, Chris was in there, and I think he was just trying to help his brother out. Literally.
I think he was trying to keep it afloat, and then he ran into a lot of big decisions that he wasn't supposed to be.
He ran it into the ground.
Exactly.
We are on fire, and people will not piss on us to put us out.
He's right.
So I think when you said his point, Eric's point to this was a long time coming. They should have went this bad a long time ago, and managed those picks properly. Now you went, what is it like? Out of the past 15 years, 12 first-round defensive picks.
Is that what it is?
What are they doing?
It's something you missed. Like we've said before, you've missed on too many picks because we had the year where we were supposed to go 0-16 when we started Josh McCown, and we went 3-13, something like that.
Yep.
And we traded up for Sam Darnold, and we did the smart thing. We had Teddy Bridgewater, we had Hackenberg still around, we had McCown, and we had Darnold, and whoever won the job was keeping it, and everybody else could get out of town. And that was a smart thing. But then the picks didn't fall through, so McCagnon had to scramble for his job, and he got Le'Veon, and he did things, and he made big moves. And he made the mistake because he hired Adam Gase, and then Adam Gase said, screw you, buddy, I don't care. I don't care what you just did for me.
Huge mistake.
Exactly. But Adam Gase just made a huge mistake, too, I think, because I think Joe Douglas is going to do what he's supposed to do, and I don't think Joe Douglas is as tied to Adam Gase as people think he is.
I don't think so either.
I think he's just going to give him the year because he got me the job. I can't justify you after this.
I can't justify him even saving that grace. I would have deaded that whole connection to that man a long time ago. As soon as you're going to let him go, let him go. Have a nice day. I don't care if you got me the job. I got the job here because I belong here, because I'm a GM. You can't stay here because you're not a good coach. What are you doing? Bad plays.
Would you go as far
bad
as to say
decisions?
as they can't handle the truth?
They can't handle the truth.
Just wanted to hear you say it. Go ahead. Carry on.
No, listen, and like we said, I'd rather have any number of offensive coordinators step up and take the job.
And you know what? That's why I said it's a long time coming, because this is the business of the Jets. We don't fire coaches midseason.
Yep.
We don't do it. And regardless of if they're deserving, they'll know, they'll do it. They'll take the L's, they'll take the first pick, and they'll move forward. But someone's got to come and fix this. And I think
what Eric is saying, for people that don't know, Eric is the biggest Jets fan that I know. Diehard Jets fan. And every season, we went to college together. We'd sit down on the couch, we watched the Jets. When Sam Darnold was there his rookie year, his second year, every week one, Sika's there on the couch. Oh, this is our Joe Namath. This is our guy.
Yeah.
Week one, I believe he goes off, right?
He wasn't
You're
the
going
only one.
crazy.
He threw the pick six
And then he
in
went-
the first
yeah.
play. I left the room.
Touchdowns.
Eric left the room, comes back. I think Darnold has a good game. He's like, he's our guy. Flips back and forth. So for Eric to say that this was a long time coming and we needed it, that means a lot from a Jets fan. And that
100%,
is a
bro.
smart thing to say from a Jets fan.
That also means I've been in those situations 2 times where
Yes.
too many times where I'm leaving the room and then I'm coming back and you're convincing me and then you're unconvincing me and then I know and then I don't know. I see the highlights, then I watch him play and then he misses routes and all this stuff.
Credit is deserved to Eric for
100%.
saying that.
So now that we've pretty much said, I mean, listen, I think what happens, I don't think that Trevor Lawrence talks his way out. I think he comes out of college, and I also think he ends up going to the Jets. I think that Adam Gase won't be there after the season's done. There's a lot that the Jets need to do. They have one good offensive lineman, and Becton. They have the wide receivers. I don't see a threat that makes me nervous. So
I like the young guy Mims though. I
Mims?
do like
I
him.
like Mims, and
He's not there yet. I know what you
But
mean.
The
But-
funny thing is the O-line hasn't even been the problem this year, too. Because Fant's been solid at the other tackle spot, and McGovern's been solid in the middle. Your guards have
And,
held their spot, and you have a
what's,
middle
Lewis?
of the pack.
Lewis-
Yeah, Lewis. You
Lewis,
have
that
a
kid
middle
Lewis
of the
is-
pack O-line. But I get what you're saying, that, like, you don't have any studs other than your left tackle.
yeah,
Everyone else is replaceable.
There's no
I don't know.
stars.
I just
Yeah.
for
There's no DeBrickashaw Ferguson except for
me and Mangold. There's no for
Mangold,
me.
yeah.
Right.
If there's no if you're doing all these draft picks and there's no anchor and you draft what should have been a franchise quarterback and it's ruined because there hasn't been a leadership, there hasn't been direction this entire time. You're essentially telling your fan base that no matter what we do as a franchise, we'll find a way to mess it up. And what I want to do with that is I want to segue into another franchise here that found a way to get a franchise quarterback and ruin it. Was the Detroit Lions. Recently, they just fired their GM. They just fired the head coach. They signed Matt Patricia, who was supposed to be a Bill Belichick disciple. Come over, defense, strong mind, discipline, right? From day one, it was complete opposite.
worst defense in the league.
There was a story, there was a rumor about him doing something in the beginning when he got there. And let me tell you, Matt Stafford has been every bit of a quarterback that he was advertised coming out of Georgia.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Last
100%.
night there was a post on my business, and they were comparing Megatron and DK Metcalf. All right, and they were comparing the numbers, and DK Metcalf has had a better beginning. Now it doesn't mean he's better than Megatron, right? Doesn't mean that.
Yeah.
But someone wrote about it and was like, "You guys are nuts. He's had Russell Wilson throwing to him, blah blah blah." And here's the thing: Matt Stafford is one of 5 quarterbacks ever to throw for 5,000 yards. Ever. One of 5 in the history of the NFL. He's never, ever, ever had a run game. Dude, you can go down the list of running backs that they have drafted.
Terrible.
None of them have worked out for more than one season.
Even the guys they've tried to plug in. You saw Reggie Bush go there for a year. That didn't really do much.
None of them.
4 or 5 games, everybody goes down the hill. You know what? It's the blocking. And it goes back to what you're saying. You got to build these teams from the trenches.
You have to.
You need the line.
And by the way, and then let's even. It's the craziest part about it is as soon as this team starts to draft, guys on the defensive front, they forget about protecting their quarterback.
Yep.
And he gets killed. So you go defensive line, and you draft Farney, you draft Sue, you draft Slay, all these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you have nothing to show for it on the offensive line. You have nothing to show for it in playoff appearances. You have nothing to show for it with a quarterback that, by the way, any team would want.
Right. I'll take him.
And once again, it's another franchise that is completely anemic and can't get out of its own way. And I ask you guys, why is it that we see certain franchises like Detroit, like New York, that for some reason, like the Jaguars, that find a way to not be able to do the right thing? And then there's franchises like the Steelers that always do the right thing.
Yep.
Do you guys feel truly that it's ownership? Do you feel like it's more of a front office issue where there's bad intel from front office guys? Do you feel like it's a combination? Do you feel like maybe it's good coaching, but maybe it's good ownership, but bad player development? Are these guys really taking chances on players? Guys, a couple years ago, the Bears had the number 3 overall pick. They traded up to get Mitch Trubisky and passed on Watson and Mahomes. So I ask you,
I think Watson's even the big one in that because Watson was supposed
Watson
to be
was
the
the clear
blue,
best
he was the,
quarterback.
he was the blue chip. Like people,
Yeah.
I don't blame anyone that passed on Mahomes
Yeah.
because I understand how good he is. And
We
how
just knew he
was
had a big
developed.
arm.
Exactly, but
Yeah.
when we looked at it, we didn't really know when he got drafted. I could say at least most of us in this room at least said, "Who's this kid from Texas Tech?"
Yeah.
yeah,
exactly.
I just do his arm.
Yeah, like who is this? Like who really is this
He can
kid?
throw 60, 70 yards, but he can't. We
Let's
didn't know
see what
anything
he
else
like.
about
The
him.
Chiefs
Nobody
traded
looked
up
at the
for this guy. Like, you know what I
Yep.
mean?
I mean, but do you guys feel like it's bad player development? Do you feel like anybody there's always going to be busts. In the first round of the draft, 50% of the players coming out are going to be busts, right? Here's the thing, though. Is it really as often as we think? Or is there bad player development in certain franchises? Or are there franchises really just bad out there? And I'm going to ask you because you're a Colts fan, and by the way, you had Peyton Manning. Before you had Peyton Manning, they essentially lost every single game.
Yep.
Peyton Manning came on board. Peyton Manning came on board and went a certain way. Right?
I think the way we did it was fantastic, transitioning from Manning to Luck.
And transition from Manning to Luck. And by the way, Luck essentially shafts you guys.
Yep.
And then you're like, you know what?
Horrible day.
We're going to get
Great job.
Rivers. They're right in the mix. They're right in the mix with Rivers. So now I ask you, what do you think about it?
I think it's definitely GM head coach. Ownership, I feel like the owner's always lurking, right? He's always on top. He's always lurking around. But I don't know if he necessarily has something to do with the players. GM and head coach, I think, have to be tied together. I think in places like Detroit, New York, I think GMs think one way, and a coach, I think in Philly right now, because that's a disaster.
Yep.
GMs are thinking one way, and head coaches are thinking another. And if those two guys aren't on the same page, I don't think you have a chance. I mean, in Philly, you're throwing the ball with one of the worst quarterbacks right now, and you're barely running the ball with Miles Sanders, who's a monster. Right? It makes no sense. I think in these bad organizations, they want to prove something. Like it's obvious. Who's the Eagles coach? Doug Peterson. Wants Carson Wentz to be something. He's throwing the ball, saying, "Go get your numbers. I want to prove that you're still a good quarterback," and it's just hurting.
Yeah.
I think in places like Detroit, New York, Cincinnati over the years,
Play to your strengths.
it's GM and head coach ownership. Right. I'm not too sure. I feel like they lurk around, but more GM head coach and player development. When you make it to the NFL, you have skills. Also, you could develop on your own. You could put in the time in the offseason. I don't know how much player development is on a team. I think when you see places like the 49ers, we see running backs go there, and we're like, who's this guy? Next thing you know, he's a starting running back, and you're like, I'm drafting this guy in fantasy. He puts up numbers.
Yeah.
Because Kyle Shanahan's scheme, the coaching, I think coaching and GM is definitely the way to do it.
Do you know what's funny? I love to hear him say that because he has a team that's such a. She's
yes,
one of those
100%
teams
what Eric's about to say.
that are on the path of always being. They always figure it out. They get
Always.
lucky. They get Andrew
100%.
Luck. They have Jacoby Brissett hold it down. They make smart moves, but they have an owner like Jim Irsay. So in that case,
who's devoted?
Yeah.
right, who's devoted, but who's also kind of a loose cannon.
He's had some troubles being our owner.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but
But
that's
not
off the
too bad.
field. That's
Yeah.
off the
But
field.
that's why I love hearing it from him, because that's a team that historically their owner is
Yeah, up and down,
teeter-tottering
up and down.
on how good and how bad he is, on how people question him. But they do always have that GM coach connection, whether it's Chuck Pagano or Frank Reich or Tony Dungy or whoever they've
And
won
our
with.
GM, Chris Ballard, might be the best GM in football. He's amazing.
Yeah, I would
Drafting
agree.
Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson was an obvious one, but all these guys. Rocky Sin, our corner's good. He plays with his hands too much, but he's a good corner.
Yep.
Y'all want
Art-
Pierre Desir back?
No, we're all right. We're all right. But our corner and Frank Reich was a great steal from the Eagles.
Most underrated. By
He's
the way,
a phenomenal coach.
I just talked to a buddy of mine. I'll give a shout out to Casey Smith. He's a Philadelphia Eagles season ticket holder, big Eagles fan, right? And we talked about it recently, about the biggest loss in recent years to the Philadelphia Eagles, and he said Frank Reich.
Carson Wentz had his, I believe, his MVP year, or on track for an MVP with Frank Reich. Next year, Frank Reich leaves. You see the drop.
Think about how crazy it was.
And
Josh
sorry not to
McDaniels-
interrupt you real quick,
Go
but
ahead.
that's why they say Carson Wentz to the Colts is an idea because of Frank. I don't want it as a Colts fan.
Yeah.
I think Wentz is
would.
talented.
I would love it.
I
I
think
would.
he's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I
But
Oh, the man took
the
my hot take.
decision making is. I'm on Sam Darnold over Carson Wentz right now. I'll say that.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
that's
believe in Sam
bold.
Darnold.
I
I believe in Sam Darnold.
bold.
But it's the Frank Reich steal from the Eagles that really saved us. We had Jim McDaniels or
Josh.
Josh McDaniels,
McDaniels.
sorry, for
And
a
he-
day.
and he screwed you.
And he screwed us. And then it worked out because we got Frank Reich.
Could you imagine the greatest hire that never was ended up being the greatest thing that ever happened?
Absolutely.
So the greatest hire was Josh McDaniels that never was. And then the greatest hire to ever happen was Frank Reich. And honestly, it goes to show you how important leadership is in a locker room of men. And it goes back to, once again, even going back to Detroit. If you continue to have coaches that underwhelm in the locker room, and you have people in leadership positions that don't give direction to men, that they should be doing greater things, bigger things, and there's nothing to follow, you're always going to be going backwards, and that's really the biggest downfall. You see it right now with the New York Jets and Gase, and I know Joe Douglas. I think it's a real like flashy, gritty from Philly, whatever the case may be. I'm not sold on him, but you see what happens now when you don't have a leader of men, and he's always coming out and he'll say things like, he's not making the play calls, but then Sam Darnold says, "Well, I hear him on my headset," right? Like there's so much, there's so much turmoil going on, and I'll even bring it to Dallas, where.
I'm happy you did it before I did.
No, but I mean, listen,
Eric saw me
I'm tougher.
signaling he's throwing
I mean,
snaps.
guys,
We're gonna go in.
everyone knows I'm tougher on the Cowboys than anybody else is. For me,
Like we are on the Jets.
the Cowboys, they hire Mike McCarthy off his couch after a year off. And I loved the hire. The problem is with a guy like Mike McCarthy, I feel as though he has to be able to come in, and a guy like that can't wear a mask and not have an off season. It's like he really has to connect to his guys, and you're essentially telling not an old timer, he's not some old guy, but you're saying some like middle-aged white guy that's not really going to connect with young players, that's never seen him before. Hey, by the way, have a great relationship with players via Zoom. Like, it's a really tough position. You hire a whole new staff, and I always say with teams, longevity and consistency means something. And Jason Garrett, as much as I hated Jason Garrett, being there 9 years, 10 years, told the team that he was consistent. He was going to be the guys here. We're going to build around the strengths. Now, he undercoached, right? And he just didn't do enough. But the Jets are always rotating coaches. And the Cowboys don't have a GM. So as I say, it's like there's no set structure where guys will look at it and say, this is a situation that we're excited to be in. So it's tough. But listen, who would you rather have going forward right now? What team would you rather be in control of? Would you rather come into Detroit? Would you rather go into New York with the Jets? And the reason why I say is because they're both going to have relatively good picks. One has Stafford, one has Darnold. One has a potential of having Lawrence. One has a potential of trading Stafford for picks and maybe moving forward. And I ask you, if you pick Detroit, do you trade Stafford or keep him? So which situation would you rather be in?
I'm actually going to say Detroit, and it's solely going to be because I know I can kind of make the. You're saying as a head coach or as a GM?
As a head coach.
As a head coach, I'd take Detroit because I think there are young players on that roster that can perform. There's people that we've seen there. I mean, they just drafted Jeff Okudah.
DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift looks like a good player. They're missing little things. I think that's the thing with Detroit. They're like when we look at them and we see them play on Sunday, we don't go, "Oh, that's like the Jaguars," and I can't even say the Giants and the Redskins anymore because they're decent now.
But they're gritty, is what you're saying. And,
Yeah,
and they're always in the game.
They always put up a fight. We forget they beat Arizona this year.
Yep.
They've had a game with Green Bay this year. I'm pretty sure. Did they sneak Minnesota once?
Only game they didn't show up for was Carolina.
I mean, the Cowboys beat Minnesota, so let's not talk about
No. But I'm saying that if I was in
That was
that
a lucky win.
situation, I'd see how much. I don't know how much Stafford has on his contract. I'd probably look to make a quick run, see if something happens, see if we can get back into that Jim Caldwell range of being 9-7 and making the playoffs. And if that doesn't work, then we're gonna have to tear it down again, and we're gonna see how much we can get for Matt. And I don't think that's a horrible place because then you get to form the team you want, and then you'll have maybe a Jeff Okudah come up and be one of the best corners in the game, and maybe a linebacker show up, and maybe I think they have Danny Shelton on their line. They still have Jamie Collins with guys. Their defense should be better than it is on paper. So that's the only reason I'd go that way.
Who do you go?
I
Where
agree.
do you go?
I would stay Detroit. I'm with Eric on it,
disagree.
but they're I think a few parts away, and I think they're closer than most other teams give them credit for. So I think you have a decent foundation. You got a solid quarterback that still has value whether you lose or not. You can trade him the value in his picks whether on your losing end of the season. Like look what happened to Darnold. We had a lot of value for him in the beginning. Everybody had a lot of hope, and then even in the beginning of the season, you know what? If he does good, he's going to have a lot of value. Just might not have to worry about getting a high pick and changing quarterbacks and starting a whole new regime again. Right. But now, how much is Sam Darnold worth?
Not very much.
He's
it's
looking
going down.
terrible.
He's seeing
Bad
ghosts.
play call. We're not showing his strengths.
Yeah.
Because they're running the
has
ball
those.
and then throwing wheel routes. 10 times a
And
game
that's the question.
to
What are his
40-year-olds.
strengths?
You know what I mean? Exactly.
What are
That's
his? What
I'm
are
saying.
his, if you look
You
at Sam
haven't
Darnold
displayed
today-
anything.
tell you what
You've
they are.
lost your opportunity to show his value and the opportunity to be able to get some picks out of him. And now, so for that kind of, I think you can get some picks, but I don't think you're getting a high pick. And you're
Sam
getting a first
Darnold's a
rounder.
very special person. I don't know if you guys know this.
I don't think you're getting a first rounder
there's-
from him.
Talented
There's
arm.
very there's
Talented.
very few people in this world that can see ghosts. Sam Darnold can see ghosts, guys.
Yes, he can.
I don't know. I want him to see live people.
This is very.
He only sees dead people.
We're not
He only sees
speaking.
dead people.
We're not speaking enough about this talent.
Speaky?
There's 11 guys on the defensive end, and he sees extra ghosts. It's wild, bro. I mean,
I
I
gonna-
think sometimes he's waiting for that extra flag for the 12th man.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate because I think I would take a Jets job because you have that first pick coming in, which is going to be Trevor Lawrence. You have that franchise QB who he's the best prospect we've seen since Luck. So I think that's your guy for the next 15 years. Stafford's on the back end, still a very good quarterback. And I think as a Detroit fan, you trading Stafford, I don't think you're getting a lot back. You guys think you get a first round pick? I don't think
No,
so.
I think
Ooh.
but I think
For Matt
I think you
Stafford?
get a
I don't think so.
I think you get a second round
third.
pick. No, I think a second
I said
round pick
third.
is
Player.
more than fair.
Third.
And
You don't
maybe
think
some
you can
Geach
get a
or another
first?
player.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't know if you can get a first.
We all agree that Stafford is a nice
if you
quarterback.
take-
Yeah,
but
no, I
it's
mean
the
low end
age.
first, depending on the team, I guess.
Nah, I don't
That's
think
what I'm saying.
I-
I think
no
I got
team's
you,
going to trade for
but-
Stafford
but
if
I
they have
don't-
a good pick.
I think it's depending on the team
agree.
because if you call Minnesota tomorrow and you say, "Hey, we'll take the Kirk Cousins contract off your hands if you give us a first and a second for Stafford,"
that would never happen.
Why not?
I think,
they would
but a
never
first
take
and a
Kirk
second.
for no
No,
reason.
Why not? He'd have 2 years with 33 left, and I'm assuming if you're making the Stafford trade, you're
he does have an
rebuilding
ugly
anyway.
Contract. He does have an ugly
Nah,
contract.
get your young QB in there. You draft a young guy.
Yeah.
But
No,
I
and
think the Jets also because, and I know this isn't like the market. We saw L. Bell go to the Jets, which we thought probably not going to work out, and it didn't. No free agents are going to Detroit. No one's saying, "Oh, I like Detroit." Only free agents that go there are ones that are left over and need a spot. In New York, listen, nobody wants to go to the Jets right now. If you have one season where it looks like we're building. We have Trevor Lawrence. He looks like a good young QB. That's going to lure free agents there. I think as a head coach, that's a good spot.
But I don't want to overstate that because I also feel that while you're right, free agents have come to the Jets in the past. The Jets can turn into the Knicks where people don't care about the market anymore.
yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of players come to the Jets,
But
sign
no
with the
one
Jets
cares about
just to
Detroit.
get the paper and then leave.
People in Detroit don't care.
That's
You know what I mean?
exactly.
I think the New York media and I think the New York market is too big for certain people. It's not going to be
100%.
You know what I mean? Like
I don't know if that's the case anymore, dude. We're
Maybe not anymore.
we're not really talking Bobby Bonilla, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you, Danny. We're dealing with. There's much less pressure in New York now to win because superstars are in other places, and New York hasn't really been a winning place. Think about this: the New York Jets. There isn't a time when I felt. I'm almost 35.
God bless
The
you.
last time that I felt the Jets were
almost
supposed
45.
to be good was when Rex Ryan had Sanchez.
Exactly.
I love
so
that.
there's no pressure there. Here's the thing.
And New York was
All right, so
jumping.
being that there's no pressure though, doesn't that change the view from the outside? Who wants to come here? Historically, we talked about history and how people follow the history, and if you're ignorant to history, you're doomed to repeat it. Now, if historically
That's true, guy.
the team's ownership, GM, historically make bad decisions and put their players in bad
Exactly.
places, nobody's going to want to come here. I'd much rather, if I was a player, I'd much rather go to empty Detroit.
Yeah, but
I don't have to worry
hey.
about the media, and I don't have to worry about coaches making bad decisions.
The question is, though, if we're a head coach, so I'm setting a good culture. I'm not having a bad culture. I'm having a good culture that players
but
want to come
but
play
right
to.
now, I know you want that, but right now, what if you're the GM of the Jets, right? You get the new GM job, and you have to stick with Gase.
See, that's
have
the-
to-
It changes, bro. It changes
No,
everything
you might.
for the GM. It changes everything for the
Why-
player.
why
it
would I
changes
have to
everything for the
stick with him?
receiver.
because ownership could relate that, and I think that's the thing Danny's trying to say at the end of the day. When you look at it, if you're in somewhere like Detroit, we haven't known ownership in Detroit to really relay things and a message down and really send a strong thing. So when we say, well, Detroit has a decent foundation. If you're building a house, I'm fine tearing from the top to the foundation because I know I have a good foundation. But if I'm the Jets and I know, hey, there's going to be a landslide on this land. We need to go move.
The basement's
and put
on
this-
fire.
Yeah, we need to do this completely somewhere else. I don't have a foundation or anything. We have to, like, it only matters if the culture is built right. And the culture, in my opinion, to answer John's question before, is it comes down from ownership in most cases, and the Jets are a case of that.
I understand that, but I wouldn't want to be caught in the middle either. I never want to be a team that's 6-10, 5-11, where you're not bad enough to get a Trevor Lawrence or a Justin Fields. You're in that middle point where you're missing out on a QB and you're getting positional players, and you're taking a 50-50 chance that he's a good player.
I see.
But
For
you already
me,
have a quarter-back.
for me, I'm.
No, you
I'm
don't.
gonna-
You're trading Stafford.
You might have to trade.
Yeah.
So all right, but even if you trade Stafford, let's say you don't get the first round, say you get the late second round pick or a third round and some cash, whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Even if you have that, at least you're building from somewhere. You've traded that. You've got your value back. Right now, you're not going to get anything for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but I'm getting the high-level talent instead of that middle talent where we're really not sure. I'll take Trevor.
But then again, we've also seen teams that were at that middle ground, like Tennessee, all of a sudden make a move no one expected, and now they're Super Bowl contenders.
And
Absolutely,
that'd be
but
great.
that's an
That'd be
outlier,
great.
I think, though.
Yeah, there's
True.
very
And
few
Vrabel
teams that have that
is
kind of
perfect.
John's feeling everybody in here. I
John's
see him
loving it.
going side to side.
I mean,
He's
listen,
like, you know,
you
He's
gotta-
leaning to this New York side.
You gotta. I mean, listen. At the end
Tommy
of the
D
day,
in the building.
At the end of the day, this is really just a matter of perspective,
Yeah.
right? So
That's a great question. that you
So
asked.
Absolutely.
the fact of the matter is for me personally, I'm the genius that asked the question.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Gotta give credit where credit's due.
Number two, obviously, it's great because it gives insight to both sides of the spectrum, right? So obviously, like, Glennie Freeman's listening right now. He's a Detroit Lions fan, and Glennie is actually going through it himself, that it's time to move on from Stafford. And he wrote to us and said the Lions need to find their Herbert, Tua, Russ. They need to expand that offense to be able to run with a QB. If we're not going to invest in an O-line, find a kid who can run, throw dimes at 45 yards. And then he also said that obviously LA is the new New York. Everyone wants to go there. And
Absolutely.
These are things that these are points that are very, very underrated. Because the fact is if you look, Mookie Betts goes from Boston to LA. Okay? Guys now, this younger generation that's coming up, the limelight is not Broadway.
Yeah.
The limelight is LA.
Sunshine.
Hollywood.
So
Yeah,
you want to be Hollywood.
Unless
You
you're
don't
the
want
Chargers.
to. You don't want to be Broadway anymore. So it's a big difference. You know, guys growing up for me when I'd watch New York sports, there was never a time in my life where I saw athletes get more publicity than I would see Mike Piazza in the newspapers. How big of a figure in 97, 98, 99, 2000 was Piazza. There will never be a bigger time
Than 2001.
when Piazza hit that home run.
Right.
100%. I already knew where you were going.
There's never going to be a time where you're going to see the core four be as big. Derek Jeter was not only the Yankees captain, he was the country's captain.
He was the face of New York.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you liked. New York was so polarizing. Now, no one cares. Everyone's like, dude, bro, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a megastar in Milwaukee.
Not coming.
Well, what it is today on it's social media. You could be a star anywhere because there's a camera on you. It used to be like you're saying New York. Those are the cameras. That's the press.
Yep.
And there was if you were in Milwaukee, if you were on the Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry back then is not the name he is right now.
Absolutely not.
Because of social media.
Absolutely not. And it really is.
That's facts.
It's crazy to see how far.
Which is a good thing.
It is a good. No, it's a good thing. Now listen, I want to. We really are segueing here. Great. I like
This has been a phenomenal show.
I love this.
So what we talk about media coverage, right? I want to segue into what the media has built up recently. We are talking about the Philadelphia Eagles quarterback conundrum going on right now. So here we are. I look at it and think to myself, Carson Wentz is one tough son of a gun.
Absolutely.
But now the media is telling me that there's clearly issues, right? Doug Peterson is not on the same page. He's supposed to be a quarterback guru. He won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles, okay? They draft Jalen Hurts. It was an odd pick. I was floored, right? Carson Wentz, there's no way of denying it. The year they won the Super Bowl that he got hurt game 13, he was the MVP of the league. Absolutely. He goes down, Nick Foles wins.
I think he still should have won it. I don't care that he got hurt. I would have still voted.
Yeah, he was the clear number one before he got hurt.
100%.
Okay,
Brady kind of stole that.
I agree,
That was Brady's year, right?
Yeah, but
he
still,
kind of stole that one.
The thing of it is he goes down, whatever. There's no way of denying it. He goes down with an injury. He was never the same quarterback ever again. And I don't even think it was his knee. I think
Mental?
it was. Yeah, bro. I think he came back. He saw his team win a Super Bowl without him, right? There's a statue of Nick Foles up in Philadelphia.
That's crazy.
I've said that a million times. He has to walk in and see that every day.
Back up.
Can you imagine that?
There's a nickname for Nick Foles, BDN, and you walk into this locker room, and you're like, this is never going to happen for me. And by the way, you look at it now, and you can clearly see this is a man who is out on an island by himself. So now I ask you.
Feeling.
Bro, he is such a good singer. He's done it multiple times now.
By the way, normally this would be something where I'd probably try and cut him off, right? But he started singing, he was serenading me, I was like,
Everyone stops for a second.
Yeah,
Let's
everybody
do
loves
it.
it.
Nice.
Don't do it again though. So
Like Ramon.
So no, but where do you go? Honestly, do you trade Is it time to move on from Carson Wentz and go with Jalen Hurts? Is it time to move on from Carson Wentz and draft another QB? Or do you stick with Carson and hope that you can reel him back in? Where do you go?
I think their Super Bowl slump changed their whole outlook, and I agree with you. I think after walking in and seeing that statue every day of Nick Foles, I think they've changed. I think he's in his own head. He needs to go somewhere else and be his own man, and be his own QB, start his own genre of this is my team, and start it over again. He is a good quarterback. I think he's more than serviceable. I think he can be a good quarterback with more weapons around him than he had at the beginning of the season. In the beginning of the season, we were talking about, you and I were both saying, wow, who's done more in these 4 games than Carson Wentz with less people? Yep. But then now it's play calling. Now they're calling things. Now maybe coaching's getting in the way. Would you agree, Tom?
I think it's... You see Carson Wentz, and he has talent. He was almost an MVP, right? Yeah. He runs around and he makes throws sometimes. You're like, wow. And then you have a throw we saw Monday night in the end zone. Looks like he threw it to the DB. Looked like in the end zone to put the game away.
Yep.
And you question that, but is it because he has no weapon, so he's just running? Everyone always says he's always trying to make the big play, not just checking it down or throwing it out of bounds. I think he's talented. I think he's mentally broke in Philly right now. But I think the problem is coaching. Eric sent me a stat. If you could bring it up, Eric, and then say it.
Let me go back to it.
Doug Peterson, right? The thing is, it's something like they're the 31st.
I got it right here.
Yeah, read it off.
The Eagles
This tells you everything.
The Eagles are 8th in the NFL in pass attempts and 31st in yards per pass play.
Wow.
The Eagles are 28th in the NFL in rush attempts and are 3rd in yards per running play.
So they're great at running the ball, but run it less than anybody. They're horrible at throwing, and they throw almost more than anybody.
Yep.
Wow. What are we calling? Doug Peterson, stop trying to make Wentz the guy again.
Yep.
Hand the ball off to Miles Sanders. Make Wentz's job easier. And the GM and the coach, I don't know if Peterson has say in the drafting or it's all the GM, but they took Rager, right? His name is?
Jalen Rager, yeah.
Rager.
Over
Justin
Justin Jefferson.
CeeDee Lamb.
Beast.
I believe DK Metcalf, right?
No,
Or was that the year before?
they took J.J. Arcega
They took
Whiteside
yes.
over DK
DK Metcalf. I mean, that's bad picking.
And I feel like that's going to fit my point perfectly. The first person that has to go is Howie Roseman because the Jalen Hurts pick makes no sense. That's the only reason all this stuff is happening. Because let's be honest, if Jalen Hurts wasn't there and Nate Sudfeld was still there behind him and Carson was still having this bad year, there would be no drama. They would say, look at the Eagles again for not giving Carson anything to throw to.
Absolutely.
Which is 100% true.
Yeah.
And I believe that. And I'm with Danny, too, on saying Carson's still a good QB, but he's got the yips or something. And I think it's got to do with walking into the same building and seeing the guy that replaced me shake hands with the guy that's coaching me right now every 10 seconds and then walking out and hearing Nick wouldn't have done this.
I got a question for you guys, though. Jalen Hurts comes in Monday, right? He does a run play and then throws a pass for 6 yards and sits on the bench the rest of the game.
Terrible play calling.
What are we doing with Jalen Hurts?
Nah, it's clear. It's clear that Doug Peterson, they know that they don't have the guy there. And it's very clear that they've watched him enough in practice to say,
right.
I am not comfortable handing this guy the rock for the game. And more than a couple plays with first-team reps may have exposed him to his own defense. So you can't trust the guy to give him to put the ball in his hands and to run with it, right?
So this goes back to them even picking him in the first place.
That's
bad GM. That's a bad head coach.
So here we go.
They are
anyone-
tied. They are correlated
tied
directly.
in a good way or a bad way.
Does anyone here actually believe in Jalen Hurts, though? Does anyone think he's going to be a franchise quarterback? I'll vote no right now.
No.
I don't want to. I love. It's obvious
What
that
do you love? I can't wait to hear.
mobile quarterbacks are the way the game's
trend.
moving. Yeah, they're the trend. And I love that he's quick
Is it
and
though? Justin Herbert.
he can.
Oh,
move
Justin
now.
Herbert.
But I prefer Justin
He
Herbert
was at
over-
Oregon, but he got an arm
Listen, when
first.
I say mobile, I mean Joe Burrow. He's mobile.
Oh, you
can
mean
run.
like
not Tom Brady.
mobile and
Mobile,
aware?
you can
Aware.
extend
He's
the
got
play.
pocket
Saying
awareness.
anybody but Tom Brady and Peyton Manning.
You see-
Almost, but I mean, there's some guys still.
I mean, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, he can't really run.
Matt.
Yeah,
Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Actually,
can't
Matt Ryan
run.
got out of the park in that Raiders game.
But no, I think Jalen Hurts, given a shot,
That was a terrible
given a
game.
system, maybe could
That
be a
was
quarterback.
terrible.
But obviously Philly doesn't think now, and
All right.
especially with that roster now.
Listen, regarding Hurts and being a mobile quarterback, I don't think he's mobile enough to extend plays every time. Like there's guys that do it. Like you mentioned Joe Burrow. He showed you game in and game out that before he got hurt that he's moving. He has pocket awareness. And I don't think it's so much being mobile, but having that awareness. Well, I mean, yeah, he's got a line. Everybody's coming at him, right? At least he can see everybody because as soon as they get past the line, it's all opposite side shirts in front of him.
Yeah.
But I mean, to your point, agreed. I think it's.
But here, let me pose this to you because I think this is a good question.
Go ahead.
We saw Lamar come out of college, and I'm not comparing Jalen Hurts to Lamar, but they can both run, right? We said Lamar can't throw the damn ball. We saw him in the playoffs complete one pass through 3 quarters. We're like, this guy stinks. Next season, he's the MVP because that offense is built around him.
But he also
can you do something like that with Jalen Hurts? We said Lamar couldn't throw the ball.
I don't think. Yeah, but then but then the next season,
he's not mobile.
Those first 8 games, he was the most accurate passer in the league.
Yeah, but that's scheme. We know he can't throw the rock.
Okay, so it's just scheme. So now let's put Jalen Hurts in that situation. I don't think he can do
right. That's why
Lamar
I'm saying I'm not comparing.
No, but I mean, I think it's a far distance. I don't think Jalen Hurts has that. I think his mobility is limited to just the pocket.
I think
if he gets out, it's a couple things here and there. I don't think he's doing anything special.
He's a freak athletically.
The funny thing is, it's not that Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
It's just he doesn't do. We see time in and time out at Alabama. I'm not saying that he's like a great. He's a
not
great
your pocket
thrower.
passer.
He's not a pocket passer.
Right. So
but in college, he did throw it more.
Oklahoma, he was slinging it.
I want to tell you something about Jalen Hurts.
Kind of.
Okay.
So, like 3 games in a row.
So Jalen Hurts is at Alabama. They win a national championship. Okay. They score minimal points. He's in the SEC in a very defensive-minded
conference. Yeah.
Conference. Okay.
NFL players.
He goes the next year. They go to national championship. He can't score at all. Right. And Tua comes in and leads him back. He goes to Oklahoma under Lincoln Riley, playing in a conference that all of us here can put up 50 points a game.
Easy.
Big 12 is no defense.
And he put up. You're talking guys like Josh Whedon putting up record numbers in that division. You're talking about quarterbacks that only the Browns would draft, right? So like so for me, I saw it coming out. You have to think to yourself, there's a reason why Jalen Hurts had to leave a conference where defense was paramount and he couldn't do anything to go to a place where he felt he could show his strengths a little bit and throw the ball around where nobody would cover him, right? So I'm just saying, clearly Doug Peterson, whoever it was, stretched on the pick, knows he does not have a quarterback in there. And now they're scrambling because Carson's not the guy anymore. Jalen Hurts can't be the guy anymore. Doug Peterson's supposed to be an offensive guru, and everything looks like crap.
I think we're seeing how important Frank Reich was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they haven't done any. They really haven't done. They haven't had an offense to that power since he's left. So I think we're starting to realize that we overrated Doug Peterson a little bit. We overrated Carson Wentz a little bit, and we definitely overrated. Well, Howie Roseman overrated Jalen Hurts.
Very overrated.
Like we said, 3 of us.
To go to the Jalen Hurts playing in that crappy conference that plays no defense, Lamar played at Louisville. And what they're like, I mean, ACC, right? That's football? They're ACC for football?
Yeah. Louisville? Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
They are
ACC.
for basketball.
Yeah. Sometimes they switch. I don't know. But, that's not the SEC when it comes to defense. So you can say that in defending Jalen Hurts. I feel like I'm the only one defending Jalen Hurts.
You know what?
You are.
I'm trying to back you, Jalen. Come on.
I would have loved that point last year.
Jalen, Colin.
Yeah.
The thing is just we're seeing Lamar struggle this year.
No, absolutely.
So it's like, if that man's struggling, this kid's definitely not ready.
Yeah,
100%. I agree with that. But let me ask you this. All right, so speaking of the running quarterbacks, do you think that teams now have, with the stats dwindling for Lamar Jackson, do you think that now these NFL teams have got a better grasp for defense against these mobile quarterbacks, keeping them contained? I think everybody except for maybe Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson.
I think every.
But they can throw the ball.
Yeah, Kyler can sling that thing.
Yeah, they can both throw the ball.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. So you can't.
I think every.
I'm saying
you can't pick up anything for those.
You're
two.
seeing you can't have the one-dimensional running quarterback anymore.
I think every.
Because even Taysom Hill could throw it a little bit.
Yeah, he can throw it a little bit, but still, I mean, but he.
It's a tight end wide
again,
receiver playing quarterback.
Yeah, but then you look at the New Orleans Saints without Drew Brees, they still had a line to be able to block for him,
that's just
and
a
he
great
ran the
team.
ball.
That's a great team.
Right? You got to have that. You got to have that structure. Starts in the trenches.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree. Guys, really crazy topic in the NFL. The Denver Broncos. So
Running QB.
I couldn't wait to get to this one.
I was thinking about
Two
this when
Jets
I was
fans
coming
couldn't
in
wait.
today, John.
Couldn't wait to talk about the Broncos.
Before, finish what you're saying, then I'll say what I gotta say.
the Denver Broncos, every quarterback is in quarantine. They throw for one completion, and I have to ask you guys. I have to ask you. The NFL went out of its way to move all the Baltimore Ravens games, right? Essentially like screwing over the Steelers.
100%.
Other teams, it didn't matter.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
moved hell and high water
They were going to strike.
to move the Ravens game. The Broncos game, however, they're like, oh, by the way, you're celebrating without masks. You have no quarterbacks. You're playing. So I have to ask you a couple things. Number one, is it fair the NFL penalize this team this way to obviously make an example out of them? Obviously, right? Like there's no other reason why they
just proving a point.
There's no other way why they would have this team play a game. And let's talk about the ramifications of
It's a T word.
what actually happened with that game. You let them go out playing against a team in the Saints that, by the way, had a backup quarterback. And for all intents and purposes, the Broncos beat the Dolphins. They had a great week the week before. And instead of moving the game, letting the Broncos come out full strength and maybe putting up against the Saints, now everyone else in the Saints division is like, bro, you gave them a free win in an NFL season. Literally, you gave them a free win.
Right.
And you're moving everything for the Ravens. Do the players have a legitimate gripe right now against the NFL? And do you feel as a fan that you feel as if other teams really got screwed because of what the NFL did to the Denver Broncos?
I think it's definitely obvious that the NFL does not care about the Broncos with this. Now they're saying you violated the rules. We're not changing anything for you. Now I'm not sure what Baltimore did is not violating the rules either, because half of their team has freaking COVID.
22 people.
I mean, what were you guys doing? Like, everybody on the team has COVID. So if it gets moved once, that's okay. We've seen games get moved once. This game's got moved twice now. The Steelers have got really, I don't want to say it, because of this, they lose their bye week earlier in the year. Then this game gets moved. Now they play, I believe, again on Monday.
No, the problem-
they
yeah,
play the Redskins
that's a
or
huge-
the Washington
yeah.
football team.
That's a huge health issue. They definitely have an absolute grievance with the NFL. I don't know what they were going to do. I think they were talking about the Ravens or the Steelers if they had to forfeit or move the
Right.
game again. That they were
Well,
there was going to be a strike.
Harbaugh is definitely pulling strings. Somehow he's got a connecting NFL because that man was coming up with every excuse to get this game moved again so
Yep.
he could get Lamar back. Obviously, didn't happen as the game
And his running
now.
backs.
And the
But-
Steelers are up right now, 12 to
Yeah, still
7.
up 12-7. But it's crazy to me that a team can play a game without a quarterback, and we're having a team get game pushed a week because half the damn team has COVID.
Yeah.
I would be more mad at the Ravens than one position group.
Yep.
And as for the game itself, I watched the game, the whole game. I just felt bad for that
Watched
kid.
that whole game.
I did. I was at my brother's. His wife's a
Hey,
Saints
yo.
fan. We're watching it.
Oh yeah,
It was rough to watch. This kid's getting cracked trying to throw the ball.
Listen,
But
I give
have
him
a-
more credit
Yeah, I give him
than I
credit.
give Nate Robinson. I just let you know.
Absolutely. But I have a problem with the play calling and the scheme coming up to that game. You guys completed one pass. We couldn't get a read option fake to a tight end for 5 yards a couple times.
Something. A Ron Rivera annexation of Puerto
What,
Rico
like,
play?
man-
Something.
I love to have Philip Lindsay. I think the first play of the game, Wildcat. I was like, there you go. That's the kind of plays you're going to have to use
But then
today.
you had Philip Lindsay fumble the snap later,
Right.
so you couldn't run that. You couldn't run that
You
again.
can't run that too many times. man.
You have no risk, though, in this game. Throw every crazy play you have. Do some play action. Stop having this kid run 15 yards, throwing on the run. Throw easy tight end dumps, fullback curl arounds, easy screen passes.
Move the
One
pocket,
play
right,
for
screen.
13
Move
yards.
the pocket for him.
I
Move
think
the call a play that moves the pocket for him.
I mean, I was just like, wait, he completed one pass?
He's running for his life.
I think I could get in, say hike, and throw it to my tight end real
You know,
quick. and
I
get a
didn't think he was
completion.
going to complete it either because somebody almost knocked it down.
I can't throw a screen pass to Philip Lindsay and he can run 5 yards?
Yeah, I think they ran it kind of poorly too.
I was
but
so confused. Obviously, they had no shot, but
I think I don't really know. Like, look, the Broncos got done dirty.
I'll tell
And
you right now, to me, personally, this screams to me that the NFL, clearly when a team is not a big money team and is not a contender, the NFL does not care about you.
Absolutely.
And
Suspect.
the fact of the matter is the NFL should only care about the fans that watch the sport and the team. And they literally said, Broncos, your fans, we know we're putting you in a situation right now where you're going to get the hell kicked out of you, and we could care. We could care less. And take the L, like
Eat
it,
this out. Eat this out.
and that's it. And for me, I'm thinking to myself, bro, we've gone above and beyond, bro. There was a point in time earlier in the year with the Titans, the Titans-Bills game, all these things being moved, whatever the case may be. When there's contenders, they'll go way, way, way above and beyond. And it's crazy, man. It's very, very upsetting. It's very upsetting to think about. It's very upsetting to see. So for me, I just feel to myself that the NFL let down an entire fan base. And not only did it let down the Broncos fan base, I feel like the NFL let down its entire fan base because for me, I don't want to see any teams get free wins. Here's the thing. If you're in the NFC conference and you got a shot at the number one
if you're
seed,
the Green Bay Packers.
if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, if you're any of these teams that have a legitimate chance at the number one seed, the NFL told you to go fly a kite. They said, we're going to give the Saints a win. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The Saints have a backup QB, which makes me even more sick because if you look at what Taysom Hill did in the previous game, it wasn't outstanding. It wasn't anything that the Broncos D normally couldn't have stopped. But you're telling a Broncos team, hey, by the way, go out there knowing you're going to complete one pass. Eventually, the defense is going to go out there and say, I don't really care anymore. Yeah. Right? We're getting curb stomped. Like, why am I going to go out here?
It's what you're seeing with the Bears. Phenomenal defense. They know they're not going to score halfway through the game. They're like, we can't play anymore. We're never going to win. That's what you saw with the Broncos.
Wear out the defense.
The Broncos got a couple stops, I think, to start the game, and they were hyped. And it's
Wasn't
like,
it 0-0
wait,
at the
we're
end of the
never
first quarter?
going to.
Yeah, they
and
had
I think
a
they had
fumble
a
recovery or
fumble
something like that, yeah.
at like the 20, and it was like, oh yeah, we have no chance of winning this game because our offense is never going to score the ball.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
bad.
It is insane.
It's as bad as it gets.
I feel bad for Vic Fangio because that might have cost him his job.
His job was gone either way.
And, I mean, the thing of it is,
Was it?
yeah, I think it
Yes.
is. No, it was, but the craziest part is, for me, I think about a Broncos franchise, and I think a pretty storied franchise. I think of Elway coming up, the throwback lids with a lot of great players coming in and out. I think of great QB play. I think of great defensive play. I think of great coaching. I think that the Broncos really got. I think they got the short end of the stick here, man. And it's incredible that in a season where everything needs to be taken into account because of the COVID protocols, this and that this is one thing that cannot happen. And honestly, you want to talk about players, doing cheers without their mask on and the 3 QBs getting COVID and whatever the case may be. Come on, dude. Come on. Stop. And all of a sudden, Wednesday, the players had negatives. A couple days after, they're just completely clear. Nothing, 5 days after. Like, guys, come on, man. You're telling me this doesn't even follow regular CDC protocol. None of it makes any sense to me. And it just felt like something happened, and something happened with the Broncos, and this was the way the NFL was getting back at them. That's how it felt to me. Something that I didn't know about, whatever, behind the scenes, and they needed to stick it to them, and that's what they wanted to do. and mission accomplished.
The main. Sorry, Daniel, go.
No, I was just going to say I agree with you. I think it shows and proves again how reactive the NFL is as opposed to proactive. They immediately wanted to push through the season and wing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. As they go along, making new rules, changing COVID protocols, and I understand they wanted to follow all these CDC guidelines, but continuously they've shown how reactive they are, how they're not thinking everything through. They're just trying to put a show on. And listen, I'm a fan. I'm glued to the TV every Sunday. I understand. But if you're going to make a point, to prove a point against one team, I think that was not the moment to do it.
And my thing was, we're playing games now that there's a game today on a Wednesday. They've played a game on every single day of the week, which they said they would never do, right? Because they hated playing on Fridays, hated playing on Saturdays. Yep. We understand because of COVID. But you couldn't push this game to a Tuesday so they could go get a free agent QB to come in and throw the ball?
Yep.
We have a team playing on a Wednesday that has half the team on COVID, but because three guys have COVID, you can't push the game back 2 days. And what I don't understand is they're saying, we can't test this guy for COVID. That's why you can't sign a quarterback. When guys are getting tested daily in the NFL to see if they have COVID. Absolutely. Guys have been in games with COVID. The next day have positives.
Yep.
So you couldn't push it back a day and a guy couldn't get tested and play for you guys?
Meanwhile, the CDC guideline is 14 days. Like, what are we doing?
It's because they do
so
it for the optics.
confusing.
It's because it's only for the
100%.
optics.
It's media,
only for the
optics.
It's the same way that you're seeing teams like the Saints lose a 7th-round pick because they have guys on a video partying in the locker room. So you're telling me that we can go, have guys from a different city meet on a field, hit the shit out of each other, and then we can
lay
go
on
back
top
to the
of each other
room.
in a pile of 12.
Exactly. And then we can come back to the locker room, but we can't celebrate together.
But on the sidelines,
when we're all
sidelines,
we know we're all
mask
negative.
on.
First of all, the players are the ones taking their and listen, the onus is on them. I know they're getting paid billions and millions of dollars. That's great, but they're still risking their lives out there. You mean a lot of those players are playing? What's that? Montez Sweat from what you call it? Doesn't he have a heart problem?
On the Washington, right?
Yeah, on Washington football team. Now this guy comes into the NFL. Everybody was worried about his motor because of his heart, and he had a special heart condition or some kind of palpitation or something. I'm not exactly sure what his medical condition was, but they were like, "Oh no, he might not even be able to play now that they drafted him because of COVID." But the kid's out there, and he's out there making superstar plays. Right?
The Colts punter just had a cancer tumor removed. I don't know how long he's out, but I feel like it might.
Sanchez.
Sanchez.
They're looking back at end of the season, so it's not going to be that long of a recovery. But
listen to that. This man,
he's a beast.
This man's having a cancerous tumor removed in week 11, week 12, and he's going to be back by week 16 during a pandemic.
He's phenomenal.
Like, absolutely. God bless you, bro.
Congrats.
He's our holder too. You don't see him.
I'm telling you, something to me just felt.
He'd be holding.
I was going to say.
Sanchez deserves more. He deserves more respect.
He deserves more.
Something to me just felt off. That's all. It felt off to me, and I didn't like it, and I just wanted to see if I was the only one, if I overthought it or whatever.
Bro, we with you.
So now, who would you guys rather have starting out in their career? Ooh. I just want to go back here real quick. DK Metcalf or Megatron?
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong. Both are physical freaks. I'm going to say Megatron because you never know how the future's going to unfold for DK. With Megatron, I know.
You already
I'm
know.
getting one of the best wide receivers of all time.
I'm with you.
But DK is obviously on that track. Looks like a physical freak. I doubt he gets hurt. Only way that guy's getting hurt is if he tears a muscle because he's made a muscle.
Right.
So that's the only way. But I'll take Megatron just by that much, though.
Slim margin. Okay.
I'm not sure because I want to say Megatron, but
make a pick.
I agree with Tom where it's like I know what Megatron's going to be, but I also know Megatron's not going to want to play after 10 years. I don't know how long DK is going to play, and if DK play, because let's think about it, Megatron's what, top 10 receiver all time? Yeah. Fair to say, like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep.
If DK gets to that point and DK ends up playing 12 to 13 years, or shit, maybe he has a Larry Fitzgerald type career where he plays 20, like that's technically over Megatron in my book. So
yeah, if he lasted over,
if he lasts 20 years, I agree. He'd probably the numbers would be phenomenal.
I'll play it safe and go the Hall of Famer though.
Yeah.
I'll play it safe and go the Hall of Famer though. I'll go Megatron.
All right, so I gotta go Megatron. I agree with Tommy D based on history. You know what I mean? We do that, right? So based on history, I know what Megatron's gonna do. However, there is the other side of me, the dark side, the side that Johnny likes. That's the side that wants to go DK because of the phenomenal start. Now, you mentioned about getting hurt. I agree. Nobody's hurting this guy. The kid's a train coming off the
You
track.
just jinxed his life.
No, the kid is an animal. Listen, everybody gets hurt every play. There's 100% injury in every game. 100% injury. That's how football is. It's a collision sport. Everybody's getting hurt. It's like a car accident every play with a bus full of guys. All right. So when you look at it that way,
so
based
weird.
on you're weird.
It's not a bus I want to be on.
Based on
Can I get on the
we
bus
know what
for
kind
the
of bus
women?
you want to get on. All right. So based on the numbers though, if DK can stay healthy, and he does have that longevity, I got to tell you, everybody's been lasting longer as the years go by. Every decade you look at, there's always those couple players that last longer. That when you saw them, they passed the eye test. DK passed the eye test. Everybody was on Twitter in the beginning of the season when the combine came out. He ripped his shirt off. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, this guy's an animal. This guy, nobody's gonna stop it. Who's gonna stop it? Who's gonna want to play defense against this guy? Right? I don't want this guy to run block against me. You know what I mean? When you see a guy like that is playing wide receiver and looks like a tight end, looks like a lineman, like
And
a
he's
guy
got
that's got to be blocking 300
He's
pound
got
guys.
the binky mouthpiece too.
Yeah. You already know, baby.
he's just-
You realize that he was passed up because people said that he couldn't run routes.
we'll teach him. We'll get somebody to teach him.
Don't
What were
run
they
around.
watching?
Just go
By
wherever
the
you
way-
are. I'm gonna throw it to you.
by
I'm
the
gonna throw it
way-
up. You get it.
I don't know if you've watched any of his games. It doesn't matter if he runs it.
Doesn't matter.
The guy goes
One-on-one.
up. So I'm going to tell you guys this. I'm taking DK Metcalf. And it's actually not even close.
Oh, stop.
When I look at DK Metcalf with the start, I'm going to project because of the start, right? So we're just projecting numbers. For me, I am going to say that this guy exceeds Megatron's numbers. And here it is.
The dark side.
You had Matthew Stafford throwing dimes to Calvin Johnson. He had his best years with Matthew Stafford. Russell Wilson, arguably top 2 QBs in the entire NFL. You have him throwing out there. Lockett causes a little chaos on the other side. He's got to be covered, right? You can't just leave him open.
Requires
Lockett's
attention.
very good.
Requires attention. So the fact of the matter is DK Metcalf is the type of kid who you saw his reaction when Pete Carroll drafted him. The guy was crying, thinking like, I was passed up by all these teams, and the dude in the draft room took his shirt off, giving Pete Carroll a hug. You just know a guy like him has a chip built in to his system.
How about what just happened last week where
Yeah.
the coach from
Jaden Schwartz. Jaden Schwartz
from the Eagles says, "Man, you look a lot like Megatron. Keep working. You're not there yet." And he's like, "Oh wait, what'd you say? I'm not there yet.
It went
I'm about to go get 200 yards receiving."
170
Yeah.
yards, something like that.
And this
That's the chip you're talking about.
That's
right there.
Yep,
It's,
that's right.
It's built in, and you can see it. There's certain guys, man, like Tom Brady. He always used being picked 199th overall as that built-in chip. And at Michigan, he was a second QB to Chad Henne. And like as he comes in, you could just clearly see that this is the type of guy that is going to be great. Ray Lewis, a chip. Ed Reed, a chip. Like there are certain dudes that when they come in, you can see how they play the game, and you're just like, dude, this guy's got the it factor. And honestly, to me, DK Metcalf, when Calvin Johnson came in, I looked at Calvin Johnson, thought he was really tall, and he got the ball at the apex of the throw and of the catch itself. And I thought to myself, okay, he goes up, he does a lot of things. Bro, when DK Metcalf goes up and catches the ball, if there's a defender anywhere around him, you almost feel bad for the defender.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is not going to end well for this guy. And the only person who's going to end up with this ball is DK Metcalf. And it's not even close. So
I have a question though. People have been arguing now because Metcalf has had some games, right, where it's like, I believe a couple weeks ago, 2 catches for 30 yards the whole game. People were saying early, this guy's top 5 wide receiver. And then some people were saying, you guys are crazy for thinking he's already a
Dropping him.
top 5 wide receiver.
Dropping him because of the one game.
Do you think he's top? I don't think he's top 5 yet.
I think there's so many receivers that
Exactly. I think he's
just
10.
outside.
I'm gonna
10's a little
gonna
low.
tell you.
No, I'm saying top 10.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you-
I don't think he's top
10?
5 though.
Top 10. All right. So this
Physically,
is how I
yes.
look at it. Yes, I agree that the wide receiver market right now, there's a lot of stars out there. You
Yeah.
got guys like Cooper Kupp going out there making big plays from short yardage, right? Your short yardage throws.
I'm just saying when you talk about the top, like you're probably saying
Julio.
like Julio. You're saying Julio, Devontae,
DeAndre
D Hop,
Hopkins.
Tyreek Hill, Michael Thomas. Is he better than any of those 5? I don't know
Not
if I
yet.
can say that. Mike Evans is in there, but Mike's probably on the outside. You have
I
guys
think
like that.
he rivals the bottom 3 of those. I think Julio Jones is a different animal. I think Devontae Adams has proven he's on a
Devontae
different
Adams.
level.
He's
He's on a
been
different level.
amazing.
I think
this
D.
year.
I think D Hop is too.
D-Hop's amazing.
D-Hop negotiated his own contract, went out there and showed everybody why they paid him the money, right? And everybody saw the catch. The catch heard around the world, right? But I think you put DK in there in any of those plays, and I think he makes those plays.
I'm gonna read you guys some of this right now.
And I think any of the stuff that he catches, like midfield, and like John said, there's a defender near him. Somebody's getting stiff arm or truck stick.
I don't think
See,
he has
my-
the hands of a Hopkins.
My thing is Michael Thomas because I feel like he's more talented than Michael Thomas, but I just
Right.
saw Michael Thomas break the receptions record, so I don't know about that one. Like I want to put him right behind Tyreek Hill. He's that talented. He's that good.
All right, so would we say we put him
that's
6,
the-
7?
I'll put him at 6.
Yeah, I'm fine
I'll
with
put him
7.
at 6.
I'm fine with 7.
Just because I want to give
Let's give it a little
Mike
room.
Thomas.
7.
Tommy D.
Behind who? Mike Evans?
Yeah, I like Mike Evans a lot.
I'm
I
gonna
don't like
I'm
Mike
gonna
Evans that much.
I'm gonna put
I
I'm
like
gonna
Mike
put
Evans.
him.
I don't like his play scheme. I don't like the scheme they run.
Well,
for.
Arians is having him throw deep passes every time.
Well, that's
Brady
what I'm
jumps
saying.
in.
I mean, I like to see him in the shorter routes and getting more of those
And y'all
grunt
blame
yards.
Jameis, and Jameis was the problem.
I'm gonna-
Jameis was the problem. But
I'm
like-
gonna put DK Metcalf for me above Tyreek Hill.
No. Did you see what that man did in a quarter?
No.
Tyreek
You
Hill
have
is
to
the most
understand.
dangerous.
Nah.
The
NFL
fastest
player
man
right
in the NFL.
Sorry, guys. Mike, yards.
Usain Bolt,
DK Metcalf.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill had
Carl
that
Lewis.
game, right? He had that game. DK Metcalf still has the most yards receiving in the NFL after an almost 300-yard game.
Who's
Okay?
2?
Let's see.
There you go.
I think it's Tyreek Hill. That's why I said that.
But now,
Tyreek Hill is 2, 3, 4, and 5.
after almost a 300-yard game,
Yeah.
which is
But
what
that's
you want. A
amazing.
player has that once a year. So he has a 300-yard game, and he's only in second by 30 yards, 40 yards, 50 yards for a lot of guys who are
That's a good point.
very close.
And I think it's
with a
because him and
300-yard
DK.
game, which means he would be if you give him a 150-yard game, which we see much more frequent from wide receivers. You subtract 150 yards from this total, he drops down to 15th, bro.
Yeah, but I don't like taking out his big games.
Yeah,
Fine.
because you could take out DK's 200-yard
But
game.
you put him,
But then you take
put
out
him.
his big game. You got to take out the 5th, 6th, 7th guy's big game out.
No, but I'm saying he leads the league in yards. He leads the league in average yards per catch. He's 5th in overall touchdowns. So what I'm saying is this guy has that. He's there in every important metric that we want our receivers to be in, and it's important for us to know that like he's there. You know, it's not Tyreek Hill. He's a nice player, man. Don't get me wrong. He's a very, very nice wide
Too
receiver.
nice.
Nice. That's underwhelming,
nice.
Tyreek Hill.
Too nice.
The only thing I'm gonna say is
You can't. Go ahead,
we have kind of seen this before, and I'm gonna give a name that nobody had in their top 5 that should be considered, even though he hasn't had the production. Odell Beckham was historic start, and we were talking about him being a Hall of Famer after like 2 seasons, and now we're doing the same with DK. DK's a very different person. He's
Yeah.
a very different animal, very different play style. Not how some people have portrayed Odell, and very different. But I do think pump the brakes a little bit. I agree he's top 10. I'll probably have him at like 6 or 7, depending on where you put Mike Thomas and Odell and guys that haven't been around. But other than that, I mean, I think those top 4 are so solid.
They're
to
close
me.
in my opinion,
100%.
but there is no one in the NFL one-on-one that can stick with Tyreek Hill. We saw the Bucs were the first team all year to play Tyreek Hill man.
And
Every other team plays zone in the back because they know we can't keep up.
You can't cover
And
him. You
in
need
the
the
first
top cover.
quarter, this man was just running down the field catching touchdowns
But on top of that,
because no one can cover him man to man. DK, while maybe no one can cover him man to man either, does not have the speed like Tyreek Hill. He's the cheater. He beats anybody man to man. You have to play zone. Exactly. He scored a touchdown. He's giving you the peace sign.
yeah, he was more running backwards, giving you the peace sign.
He's too fast to play man-to-man. DK, you can maybe throw a corner on him to slow him down a little bit. You can't play Tyreek Hill one-on-one.
Okay, so starting a franchise. We know what these players are. We know what they're not projected. We know what they are. You're taking Tyreek Hill or DK Metcalf?
I think this is going to contradict a little bit, but I think I'm taking DK.
That's my point.
Just because Tyreek Hill has Patrick Mahomes,
But you
and
don't.
we see
But
the
you don't
deep
have
threat.
to. But no. Don't. What I don't want to hear is because I'm just asking you what receiver you're taking. The fact of the matter is, a receiver like DK Metcalf will completely change how a defense
has to-
plays. The fact is,
So does Tyreek Hill. You can't play man. You have to go zone.
I get what he's saying though, because his point is DK's a red zone target basically, and Tyreek's not.
Tyreek Hill is not.
That's why I said I would take DK because I
so
know he's
you guys
bigger,
are. You
but-
guys.
I
are
get your
making
argument. I
Massive
just
points for Tyreek Hill, but then would take DK Metcalf.
if you're starting-
I mean, I didn't say I was
all
taking
right, so
anybody.
I'm taking
Starting
hard,
is different than who's better. I'd rather have a young
No,
quarterback
you
than Phillip Rivers.
You're our guest.
No, I'm just saying that at the end of the day, I don't know who I'm taking in that scenario because it depends on what I need.
You gotta take one.
If I have to take one,
This guy's so political, bro.
no,
never gives an answer.
because I feel like it's so simple. It's like it's not that simple. Where it's like if I have a guy that can't throw a deep ball, Tyreek Hill is no use to me. But if I have a quarterback that can throw a deep ball, there is no reason
more
I'm going to need a
valuable.
red zone receiver the same way the Chiefs do. So I'm gonna say to play it safe. I'm gonna agree with Tom and take DK because he could do it all. But I do like your point because it's a good point. If I have someone that can do it all compared to someone that's more of a specialist, which he has come out and said that he is very upset that people think he's a specialist. But
he is. So.
He is.
He's a deep ball guy. and
But being a specialist is not a bad thing.
he's an overall receiver. It's hard for me because that's like one like you can't go wrong. And I'd still put Tyreek over him because of production and because what he does. And DK's still young. He's still, he still has opportunities to grow. And unfortunately, I mean, we've seen that with me before. I put the younger guy lower because I want to see him do more, and then I'll establish himself. So that's the only reason I have it that way.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Everybody's got good points. I'm taking Tyreek Hill. You can put him all over the field. You're saying that he's a specialist because he runs the deep ball. I've seen this guy run that jet sweep and burn every single person. Safeties, corners,
and we haven't seen
on one
DK
block.
Metcalf catch a guy from his own end zone.
We saw DK Metcalf catch a guy from his own end zone. That was an amazing play.
Was that not the single?
But I'm not-
greatest play
I'm not
you've seen
putting
a wide
DK
receiver?
Metcalf-
We've seen Tyreek Hill catch his own running back. From
But
the
I'm not.
opposite side of the field.
Yeah, and I've never. And,
Yeah.
and I don't see. I don't see myself putting. And regardless, not everybody's a Mahomes, right? So majority of the quarterbacks, you say 60 to 70% of the rest of the quarterbacks in the league are the rest of the quarterbacks in the league. If you don't have the top 5.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to Tyreek because I think you can do more underneath with him.
I might change. I might go
Because you
Tyreek.
can't. Because
you
you
rather-
can't.
I'd
Say
rather
you can
go
throw the
Tyreek.
ball deep. That's great. He can burn everybody. But if I can't put DK in a slot because I don't have anybody else yet because I'm building my team, and I can't put DK on the other side, and I can't put DK here. DK's the X receiver. He's on the outside. Maybe I run a sweep with him once in a while because he's a big guy.
He's
But
fixing my Reds Go problem because now I'm running wide receiver screens up
So
the whole
can I
field,
ask
and I
you-
totally forgot about
Can
that.
I ask you? Can I ask you a
I'm
question?
taking Tyreek.
Can
all
I
day.
ask you?
I
Can I
might
ask
take
you a
put him
question?
anywhere.
Can I ask you a
might take
question?
Tyreek.
Talk to me, Goose.
Okay.
I hate folding.
You're taking.
folding.
No, this
That's
is
a great question.
You're taking. You see Tyreek Hill doing what he's doing because you have guys like Travis Kelce
Kelce.
and McCole Hardman and Mahomes. Okay.
Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett.
Lockett.
Tyler Lockett is a very good receiver.
Have you seen Tyler Lockett's numbers? No, I'm being
Didn't
honest.
Tyler Lockett have a 300-yard game this year?
All right, so the numbers
Have
for
you seen
Tyler
his
Lockett,
numbers?
I'm going to tell you. The numbers for Tyler Lockett don't tell the whole story. Because Tyler Lockett,
fantastic receiver.
Tyler Lockett not only is a fantastic receiver, but because of the fact that he's a better route runner than DK Metcalf,
Absolutely
he
is.
sets up a lot of the pick plays for him and doesn't get enough credit for it.
Tyler Lockett has been protected from day one in his career.
He was about to go ham. I had to stop it. I had to
We
break it
forgot
down.
about that Arizona game where Tyler Lockett had 15 catches for 200 yards and 3
talk to you
TDs.
later.
The kid is a beast.
Oh, I'm sorry. We forgot about the one game he had. Thank you.
He had 9 receptions for 100
He did it to
yards and
himself
3
when he said one game.
TDs.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
70
John's gonna eat
catches.
us up now.
As a number 2 receiver, he has 70 receptions, 771 yards, and 8 TDs.
So I have a question for you. When you have a QB who's throwing up to DK Metcalf and demands 2 people to cover him, sometimes 3, Tyler Lockett better catch some balls, bro. And by the way, so you know, if you have Travis Kelce, who makes a living out of embarrassing defenses, probably the best tight end in all of football, and it showed, it showed against the Raiders when Patrick Mahomes had to go down the field. Kelce was like, okay, bro, just throw it to me all the way down the field. Don't worry about your boy Hill. Don't worry about anybody else. Throw it to the tight end because Hill is so good that you'll throw it to the tight end. So, guys, relax a little bit because DK Metcalf has who at the tight end? Drisley?
But
no one knows Drisley except his mom, okay? He has Tyler Lockett and what running back? Who's running back?
Who's the
running back?
Chris
Carson?
Carson. Chris Carson.
He's all right.
Carson.
He's
all right. All right, so hold on. I'm going to bring this down a
Carson's
notch.
having a great year.
John, let me ask you.
Obviously, they're not the Chiefs. Obviously.
No, they're not the Chiefs, obviously, but you got Chris Carson, you got Carlos Hyde, you got you got bulldozers and a fair defensive line, right? A fair offensive line. In Las Vegas, the Raiders. Who's their safety?
Abram.
Jonathan
Abram. Young kid.
Right? Young kid.
Heath, Cowboy.
Right. Awesome. Young kid, right? You got a veteran you got a veteran like Kelce. If you got a veteran like Kelce and you got a stronger cornerback playing Tyreek Hill, why wouldn't you throw it to Kelce?
First of all, the Raiders.
You got to play. The Raiders defense is okay, but they're not. They're suspect.
They're okay. The Raiders
43-6 Falcons.
The Raiders.
That's one game.
The Raiders defense is suspect. He's right.
It is
and,
suspect.
And by the way, I said the Raiders were gonna go to the playoffs this year, and I still think
I like the Raiders. I like.
No,
the fact
I think
of the matter is that
4 seed.
The fact of the matter is you're talking about a Raiders team that beat the Chiefs the first time around, and they've given up, I think, the third most points in the NFL, and they found a way to shut down the Chiefs' offense. In the second game, we're up, and the Chiefs needed to come back from the dead to beat the Raiders. The fact of the matter is the Seahawks always have to score a ton of points because their defense is the worst in the NFL.
That's a good point.
So the fact is there is no room, there is no margin here for a little bit of letdown. Wilson and the greatest number 2 wide receiver of all time, Lockett, and DK Metcalf, and your anemic tight end position, and your whatever you call it, your stable of running backs.
You're acting like Seattle's offense has been crazy, though. They've had games where they've struggled.
Of course they've had games where they struggle, but once again, it's because Wilson is on the run for his life.
Yeah, he is.
And bro, there's more times where I watch Russell Wilson scramble. By the way, he does it to the Cowboys every year, where he's scrambling back and forth for 10 seconds, and then all of a sudden he throws the ball up, and I'm like, here we go. Somehow, someone's coming down with this one. This is going to crush my dreams. And when's the last time you saw Patrick Mahomes sweat after an NFL game? My guy, stop. When Patrick Mahomes gets off the field, he's ready to get laid. The guy's so clean and so fresh, it doesn't matter what he does. Actually, he slides on the ground to look like he's getting dirty in an NFL game. Stop, guys.
See, the only
the best quarterback.
But the only grass marks you see are on his butt.
The only thing I think we're missing though is if we're gonna say that Tyreek Hill benefits from Travis Kelce being on the field, you can't tell me that DK doesn't benefit from Tyler Lockett being on the field. While they play different positions. And the other thing I'm gonna say
but he does more by himself than Hill does. He does more by himself.
I understand that, but the other thing I'm saying is, are we really gonna say the Raiders stopped the Chiefs when both games Chiefs scored 30 points?
Yeah, because the Chiefs score 50 all the time. And they beat them.
Yeah.
And they beat them.
If you put
a dent in the can, but
if you won 41 to 38, and then you lost 41-35, you lost 38-32.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say you stopped them. I'm gonna say your offense showed up.
Yeah, your defense stunk.
The Chiefs have scored 32 points a game. Okay?
That's insane.
So it's still over their average, though. That's my point.
The Raiders defense has given up 32 points a game.
Yeah, they stink.
Okay.
So the Raiders didn't do anything less than anybody else did and beat them. So what I'm saying,
that's your offenses.
So what I'm saying is that if your player is if this guy is so great, why is it that in the biggest moment against a division rival, could he not muster up his best game? What I'm telling you guys is this.
Hold up. Was the Raiders game a bigger game than the Bucks game that he just had 250 yards against?
No, absolutely
And
not.
he burned Carson
And-
James?
no, but I understand where John's going because they're a division
gonna say
rival.
division.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
but let me
no,
tell you.
And you're trying to keep them
the
out
Chiefs,
of the playoffs.
The Chiefs have
You don't
won.
want to see them.
Let's look at
The
their
Chiefs have
division.
won.
They're not
19.
worried about the Raiders.
They're not?
No.
Check out this stat. The Chiefs.
You think the Chiefs are sweating? They're going to
They're
see the
two
Raiders?
closest games.
I know, are the Raiders. I don't think they're
So what do
still
you mean?
worried
I
about
think
it.
they got their number now.
No.
I think the Raiders.
No, division games are.
You're acting like
I'm
it's
gonna
the
tell you.
Packers
No,
and the
I got you.
Saints.
Yeah.
Packers don't want to see the Saints. I'm sorry, not the Buccaneers and the Saints. They're 0-2 against the Saints. They don't want to see the Saints.
The division rivals do not want to see division rivals.
I don't want to say that because you would love to see the Eagles or you would love to see the Eagles or the Giants.
Yeah,
I mean, not
that's
Giants.
like your favorite game
You would
of the
love to
year.
see the Eagles tomorrow.
Huh? What?
Bro, I don't want to see any division
listen.
rival ever.
All right.
Bro,
so-
ever.
Listen,
No,
go ahead,
I
Rick.
think it's the opposite. I think they want to see them.
ain't
I
sweating the
think they
Raiders.
got their number. I think they're not sweating the Raiders. I agree with Tommy. Now, one thing to what Eric said about them
43 to 6.
having the offense show up and not the defense. I don't think the defense is abysmal, right? But I think when you have a team like the Kansas City Chiefs that have won 19 out of their last 20 games, including playoffs. 19 games out of 20. That one loss, the Raiders got lucky because they just didn't have. That's proof that they were just having a bad day that day. I don't think that it was like if they lost 4 or 5 games in between there. All right, so teams have figured something out. There's a pattern there. But no,
You're telling me
they lost one game.
You just said the Raiders
To the
defense
Raiders.
stunk and the Chiefs are the best offense in the NFL. They ain't worried about it.
By the way, you guys
Smoke.
made a really, really good call with Chris Carson, who's missed the last 4 weeks. Yeah,
he's been hurt.
But no. Great. By the way, 42nd
You asked
in the
who's the
NFL
running
in
back.
attempts. No, I mean I'm
I
asking
just
you.
said who's the running back.
I'm asking you who the running back is, and you guys gave me a name of a guy who doesn't play.
Doesn't he have 10
He
touchdowns?
was out 4 years. He was out for like 4 games.
Doesn't he have 10
was out
touchdowns?
4
He was out
years.
4
When
games.
He's
he
got 4 touchdowns.
When he-
10.
Receiving. Look at receiving, not just rushing.
when he's in
I
the
think 10
lineup,
total.
they're a totally
Eric,
different
Tommy,
team when
segue.
he's starting.
No.
That's a fact.
I asked you guys who the running back of the Seattle Seahawks was.
You say Chris Carson.
Chris Carson.
And Chris
Carlos Hyde.
Carson is not playing for the Seattle Seahawks. So once again,
He was hurt the last
Carlos
4
Hyde.
weeks.
Yeah.
He didn't come back yet.
I said Carlos Hyde.
that's great. Good. Yeah, Carlos
He
Hyde.
was hurt for
It's
3 weeks
comparable.
too, though. So what,
He's
is
always
it-
hurt for 3 weeks.
It's Travis Homer then.
So by the way,
Was it
you're
DJ
ma-
Dallas?
You're
Who's the starter?
making, you're making
think it
my
was Homer.
point. You're making my point. They do not
DK
have a
does
running
more.
back.
You know
DK
what? It's
does more
Marshawn
with
Lynch.
less of a complete team.
Where's Marshawn?
It's Marshawn.
I see what you're
Lynch. I don't
saying.
care.
Guys,
Sean Alexander. Where
you're
is he?
making
What year
my
we in?
point. You're making my point.
said Sean
That's
Alexander.
all it is. You're
That's a good point, John.
Madden curse.
Dude, if you started a franchise right now, and you got an offense to start with, and you're taking the Kansas City Chiefs because you know you have the best quarterback, arguably ever, with one of the greatest tight ends right now, and one of the bro, Tyreek Hill and McCole Hardman had to have a
Hardman's
race
so quick.
to see who's the. You have 2 of the fastest wide receivers in the NFL. They raced each other. So you're worried about Tyreek Hill burning you over the top, running over the middle, and then you're
Then
you're
when you
like,
send a safety over to
let's
help,
not-
you get
Why are
he
we
just
taking
goes
it
the other
away-
side of the field.
Why are we taking it away from Tyreek Hill that he's burning people? Like, oh, you have Tyreek Hill. He
Because it's not-
burns
because
people.
we're
That's
not-
what he does. That's
because
why
we're
he's
not-
Tyreek
We're
Hill.
treating him like
Specialist.
look.
because
they
it's
never succeed in the
disrespectful to not
NFL.
say DK. It's disrespectful.
I don't
I don't think
wanna,
it's disrespectful. I think it's fair. I think I like my point, and I
Your
and I
point
like
sucks.
a couple of.
You suck.
I'm leaving the show.
I just don't want to treat Tyreek like he's
Get outta
John
here.
Ross or Henry Ruggs. And on the other side, I
that's
get
more
what
than
you're
that.
saying about DK because I do like DK a lot, but I always let's try to
don't
bring
like
it down
DK
to some
at all.
simple. Let's try to bring it down
You're
to some
fake news.
Let's
You're
try to bring
false.
it down to some simple things real quick.
Bro, fraudulent.
Who?
You just made the list.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
You like that one?
That was great. I love those.
Oh, I got hits coming all day.
But I have 2 questions. Number 1, who has a ring, and number 2, who gets paid more?
Talk to me.
What are you talking about? What is it? What is
Who gets paid? Who gets
What
paid
do you
more?
mean?
Who gets paid more to do the job that they do, and who has a ring?
Who gets paid more to do a
2
quarterback?
checks to Tyreek Hill.
No, who get? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Out of DK and Tyreek, who gets paid more, and who has a ring?
Tyreek Hill has a ring. I don't know if Tyreek Hill gets paid more.
Didn't he just get a crazy?
DK's
extension?
on a rookie deal, ain't he?
Yeah, but didn't
of course,
Tyreek
to
just get a
second year.
crazy extension?
Did he get a crazy extension?
Yeah. He's got money.
So Tyreek Hill got it. Okay, he got it.
You got a check.
He's been in the league a little longer. He's been in the league a year longer. Tyreek Hill, or is it two? Too long.
Probably
2 years,
two.
I think.
Okay, so 2 years. So he's been in the league longer. So he's coming up to the point where you want to get him on an extension anyway. So great call on that. And unless you want him walking, but so you're going to sign him to an extension, and also I'm starting a franchise, and I'm looking at it, and I could draft a wide receiver, and I'm saying, okay, so what do I need to help Patrick Mahomes other than nothing? Okay, we'll just take this really fast guy that beats his girlfriend up in the offseason, and we'll just have him run down the field and call it a day. All I'm telling you is the fact of the matter is
So harsh.
The fact of the matter is you're disrespecting DK Metcalf, and he is a much better wide receiver. And I'm sorry, Tyreek Hill, yeah, it's cool, bro. You're running down the field super fast. Awesome. Fun to watch. I've seen a lot of those too. See you later. I'd rather have DK Metcalf.
So let me ask you, what if DK?
Don't
All right,
ask
so,
me.
so
Whatever. He's never going to change his mind, no matter what.
I know he's not going to change his mind, but I like to mess with him. So, that's what he's got me here for.
I
Right,
just
so
heard
John,
DK
check this out.
I'm
So,
just trying
all
to
right,
show DK my bank account.
Yeah.
Who's better? Look at my
How much I got in his
Look
Wells
at my
Fargo?
bank
I have a black card. What do you have?
So now, let me ask you. So we get to the end of the season, right? And DK slows down these next couple games, and Tyreek Hill has another 2 or 3 200-yard games, 300-yard games. And now Tyreek's got, 3 or 4 more touchdowns.
Why is DK slowing down? Because you're just saying he is? You know Stradamus, you just see it.
Why are we taking out
I
Tyreek's
see it.
300-yard game?
Thank you. All right, so let's say at the end, and I'm not taking anything away from anybody for you. This is just a little setup, alley-oop, right? So we get to the end of
I'm
the
going to
season.
slam dunk the shit
Now,
out of this.
all right, I hope so. I hope so, little
Go
man.
ahead.
I hope you got some bunnies. So we get to the end of the season, and DK doesn't have those numbers, and DK slowed down for whatever reason. Whether I say he's hampered by something, God forbid he doesn't get hurt, and then Tyreek has another two or three 200-yard games. Would you still keep your same answer?
Yes.
So even though Tyreek Hill blows his numbers out of the water, you're still not changing your answer.
Yes.
All right.
Because you're giving me a hypothetical. It's
Yeah, I know
ridiculous.
he's going to say that.
You're giving me a hypothetical.
I
But
think
I
you're
was
gonna
politicking for not wanting to answer, man. I feel like this is a great debate here. You can go either way.
You're taking the 5th best receiver or the 6th best receiver in the NFL.
I don't know. That's cutting it close.
I mean, dude, first of all, we're so over the BS. Well, it's so tough to answer this question.
Yeah, it is. We've been
arguing for 30 minutes.
Now, man.
I mean, this guy, but you, it's like, dude, it was.
You were massaging.
It was so dramatic.
Sometimes you have to massage it.
You were like, it was almost
said.
like you were
Exactly.
auditioning for a Broadway play. It was like, oh, come on, my guy.
If I was doing acting, I would have just acted like DK was 100% better than Calvin Johnson.
and then,
Tyreek Hill.
and then, by the way, you would have acted like a phony.
Here we go.
Fake news. So
would've.
that's
Bro,
guy,
fraudulent.
It's all right. Listen, I want to move on. I want to move on here. I want to talk about the NFC East as a whole. Number one, I just want to ask across the board: is this the worst division you've ever seen in your life?
100%.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Hands down.
you're picking a winner today. Who are you picking?
New York Giants. I love Joe Judge. I think he has that team playing pretty hard. And Daniel Jones, I think, tweaked his hamstring. I think he's all right. But I love the way they play. I think they got good schemes, too. They just don't have no Saquon. They don't have the personnel yet. Now, I think they're going to win division, get blown out in the playoffs. But I like the way that franchise is heading. I'm not sold on Daniel Jones, though. He still turns the ball over. But I love that
He's got
coach.
small hands.
And I think when you have the coach like Joe Judge and New York, you see the way they play hard.
I can't
They're
buy a
gonna
Big
win it.
Mac.
Take my strong hand, child. Who do you like, Eric? Who do you like?
I actually like Washington, and it's because their defense, and I think they've been a little different with Alex Smith. Even though I didn't like,
Comeback player of the year.
I didn't like how
Comeback
Dwayne.
player of the year. Say it again, Tommy D.
Comeback player of the year.
I didn't like how Dwayne Haskins got benched, though, even though it's going to prove to be the right move. I think doing it for Kyle Allen was a big mistake. If it was, I just didn't like how that went down. But if it gets him to the playoffs, I guess I'm the idiot, and Riverboat Ron goes again.
So you're okay with him if it was just Alex Smith earlier?
If
in the year?
it was for Alex Smith, I would have understood it because the experienced quarterback, he's on the comeback. I'm
Veteran.
assuming he's outplaying him.
Leadership.
But with Kyle Allen, you just told me that it didn't matter what Dwayne did. All you were going to do was put Kyle Allen there because he knows your system.
Dude, if there's anything you should be mad at, the fact that Dwayne Haskins actually got drafted. Okay, so if you're gonna be,
No, he wasn't that good.
If you're gonna be mad at a guy that played
Let's not
nine,
say
if you're
that.
gonna
He
be
set
mad,
Big Ten records.
oh yeah, okay. So is every other Ohio State quarterback. Name me the last one that's been good.
Yeah, that's organization.
in the NFL or just good at Ohio
Yes,
State?
of course in the NFL. Name me one that's been good in the NFL. Hold on. By the way, we take Sal Angeletti's time. We have 2.5 hours. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. What, you
That's
guys
a
said
good
that about
point.
Affiliate.
So my point is they all suck, bro.
All right, I'm
He's
just
right.
saying, though. What are you going to say? He doesn't deserve to be drafted even though he's setting records in college football? He deserves to be drafted.
My point is you have 9 games, a la Mitch Trubisky.
And
a la
that
Mark
team stunk
Sanchez.
last year.
No, I actually agree with him on that because Cardale Jones set records and sucked. Braxton Miller set records. And
Same
didn't get
system.
drafted.
Same system.
He's breaking their records.
JT Barrett, but like all of those guys didn't get drafted except Haskins. So I
The
actually
fact
like
of the
that.
matter
All those
is,
boys played in the NFL, too.
I'm just saying I didn't like how you're gonna. I understand he's not tied to Haskins, but
Haskins' last game before he got benched was a good game, too.
no, that's what I was saying.
never had a good
because
game in his life.
Yes,
Stop.
he did.
It's
Yes,
not,
he did.
It's not that Haskins was worthy of being a first-round pick. To me, it was just you blindsided him, and then the fact that the media came out and then told me that he wasn't a locker room guy. But in week 1, you told me he gave an amazing speech while Ron Rivera was getting
And had a
his-
captain on his chest.
Yeah, that was
Yep.
getting a leukemia treatment thing. So I just didn't like the treatment of him. Not saying he's a good
That's
quarterback.
fair.
I just don't think that. I don't like how Washington handled the situation.
That's
with him.
fair, but I wasn't asking you. If
Oh, yeah,
he
no,
was
no,
a
I know that.
philanthropist. I was asking you if he was a good football player. So what I'm asking is the fact that you were talking about Haskins should never have been drafted there. Kyle Allen proved in Carolina under Rivera that he was a serviceable quarterback, not a good one, serviceable.
A backup.
Game
a backup,
manager.
serviceable, and he was a game manager, and he excelled in Carolina and had them with a positive record going into the latter half of the year under Ron Rivera, which is why Ron Rivera was like, okay, he's familiar, we can bring it here. Alex Smith was and is the best QB on that roster.
Agreed.
Yep.
That's why I'm
And
fine with that.
it's a blessing and it's great
That's
that
facts.
Alex Smith is back and he's doing his thing. And when he beat the Cowboys, I've been rooting for every team to beat the Cowboys because I would love a really good draft pick. So I've been hoping for everybody. But the Cowboys are
4 right now, I think, right? 4?
three. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You ain't picking a quarterback anyway.
What my hope was we were going to end up with the 3rd overall pick and we can maybe pull a couple strings and draft the quarterback.
Never going to happen.
Okay, but
Jets trade back.
Jets would trade. I guarantee
no,
you
I
they.
don't want to be in that position. Because
I guarantee you they'll mess that up. I guarantee they'll mess that
But
up.
this is why I said it on our show a while back. I said I don't want the
think that
Jets to get the 1st-round pick because franchises that make a lot of mistakes don't make the right decision here. So I never wanted it. While I would love Trevor Lawrence, if we trade that and I see Trevor Lawrence play for someone else, I'm sick. If we trade Sam Darnold and Trevor Lawrence doesn't work out and he goes somewhere else and
You're
succeeds,
sick.
I'm sick. And do you know what that makes me? A Jets fan. That's all it does.
Makes Eric sick.
it makes you it makes you.
Look for another
It
team.
makes you a fan. It makes you just a fan in general, where you hang all your hopes every week on the fact that your team one day is going to wake up and be the team that you thought. Listen, you got into being a Jets fan with a team that doesn't really have a good history, right? So like you chose the team and you stood by it. The fact is it's tougher. When I watched the Cowboys, dude, the first jersey I got was an Aikman jersey, and I watched them win all their Super Bowls. I have now watched them suck for 25 years. So when I like them, when I pick them, they were America's team. Now they're America's a-hole. So like the fact of the matter is it doesn't. It's a tough realization. You guys pick.
I wish I could play the clip back.
See, because my
They're
thing,
going to the
because
Super Bowl.
mine's, because even my story is gonna be different from Marcalo's. Because the first jersey I got was the Chad Pennington jersey, so that's what I watched.
Well,
so I
he's
watched
so
it-
old. He got Joe Namath.
I watched it.
to you later.
But I heard the stories of Namath, and I was like,
I'm
"Oh,
old
that's
man in the
awesome! The number one, the guarantee, all that shit."
He was
And
so
then-
drunk.
Oh, he probably was. But then
Sloshed.
I saw them be an average team, and then I saw Mark Sanchez, and then I see AFC Championship game. So I'm like, "Oh, that's what we are. We're an average team, and all of a sudden one day we can get to there." And now I'm looking, and now we're a dumpster fire. So
So just get back to you're all picking Washington?
I'm picking Washington. I'm gonna go with the mantra of defense wins championships. And
Okay.
yes, Washington is not winning a championship, but they have pass rushers that are phenomenal, man.
Eric,
That
are you
pass-
picking Washington?
That pass rush,
I'm 100% picking
that
that.
pass
Listen,
rush,
now-
Kerrigan,
it's not
Chase
just-
Young is sick.
I agree.
Chase
I agree.
Young is amazing.
That's facts.
Amazing player, game changer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's amazing.
Play to play, you got to scheme for him. You got to make sure you know where he is. It's not just the defense, though, having a solid defense. I think another team that's a couple pieces away. But the foundation of a good line, being able to run the ball with Gibson, that kid Gibson, being able to throw the ball to what's the other running back?
And Antonio Gibson is the truth, bro. He looks great.
McLaurin?
Yeah, it's fact.
No.
McLaren's a sick wide receiver.
Yeah. How about that?
McKinnon.
No, not McKinnon.
Yeah, he's the one who catches.
McKissick.
McKissick.
Yeah, something like
Yes,
that,
McKissick. Yeah, JD McKissick.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have those guys and you got a line that's solid enough to block and keep you in a majority of the game.
Yeah.
If you can keep yourself in 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters, those other little plays that you're gonna that I guess NFL coaches account for that where you're gonna make a mistake here and there. Try not to. Obviously, that's why you practice. But I mean, with this COVID thing, I know everybody on Zoom, like John said,
Right.
you're not going to be able to get that
Yeah,
connection.
it's hard to do
You're
that.
not running routes online. You know what I mean? So that it's a huge difference. But I think Washington has a better base with a veteran guy like Alex Smith. You can pick up some youth. Maybe you don't stay with Haskins. Maybe you trade him up or
Trade him to who?
Trade, I don't know, wherever.
Nah, he's
Send him
not,
somewhere.
You could get
don't
like a
have to
6th or 7th.
I think you get a
not-
fourth.
they're n-
I
but
think you
you're
get a
not gonna-
fourth or fifth round.
You're not going to do it because do you really think? Do you think any team in the NFL thinks Dwayne Haskins is the guy?
No, but I think a team would trade a 6th or 7th.
I don't think so at all because they know that they're not going to get anything in return, and you could trade him for a dumpster.
And he's not going to get his option picked up. So
All right, so you
might
trade him
as
for
well
the
pick him
dumpster,
up.
and then you put him in the dumpster.
But here's
send him
my
down
thing.
the road.
You guys are all saying you love Washington and everything, right? You obviously have a chance at division and to
Love
make
is
the
a strong
playoffs.
word.
Yeah, I was about to say the same
All right.
thing.
Love is a
very
strong word.
But
Yeah,
I don't love
me,
any team in that.
I would
division.
hate to be the Washington football team right now with Alex Smith as my quarterback and no QB of the future anywhere in sight. I'm going to win my division, get a middle of the road draft pick, and walk into next year with Alex Smith or Kyle Allen.
First of all, false once again. Just because you win your division, you don't get a middle of the road. Whoever wins the
They're going to have
division,
6. They're going to have 6 wins. They're not going to be in the top 5.
they're going to have 5 or 6, but 5 or 6 is still going to get them in the top half of the league.
10.
Okay, top
So-
half. You want to?
They could get Kyle Trask.
They'll be like 12th or
don't care.
13th.
Who is going to win the Heisman this year?
That you might be able to sell that,
yeah.
or the kid, or
the SEC.
the kid from
He might.
BYU.
I like it
too.
when we sway Tommy.
I don't like that. I don't like the future of the Washington football team.
I do.
I don't at all.
You have
I like the defense.
You have young playmakers. You have young defense that gets at it, bro.
They
And
keep
let me
you in the
t-
game.
You have a young running back. You have a young stud wide receiver.
Terry McLaurin is definitely the real deal.
You have a young wide receiver.
That kid's a truth.
You have 3 monsters up front. That defense always gets at it. They're always competitive. So all you're looking
Yeah,
for
but by
now,
the time you get a good quarterback, you're going to lose some of those defensive players.
how do you know?
I think
Can't sign everybody.
I think
What if
Kerrigan's on his way out, but that's not gonna. That's
What
not
if-
gonna
And they have Daron Payne and they have like 3
They're gonna
really good
stay.
D tackles.
That's what I said
So you're going to lose some of them.
So let me ask you a question. If Sam
by the time
Darnold's
you draft-
available, do you get Sam Darnold? See, bro, there's options here, man.
He likes it.
There's options
That's what
here.
it is.
You're thinking short sighted. You're thinking the only way my team can get a quarterback is through the NFL draft. That was not the case with the Colts. They went and got a veteran who still had. Bro, come on, dude.
No, I don't love. The reason we lose games is because of Phillip Rivers.
He's a turnover machine.
Are you kidding me? The guy can't. He's
Apple
like
turnover.
insane the whole time.
Now you can get Carson Wentz though.
Sam Darnold.
It's insane. It's insane to think.
I like the Giants' future better than I like the Washington football teams.
I don't agree with that.
Let me ask you then. Would you, given the opportunity, would you rather have Darnold or Rivers?
Darnold, easy.
Easy? Really?
Easy.
See,
We're going to make the playoffs with Phillip Rivers. We're not going to win a playoff game. Maybe we'll win like
you
a
might
wild
win a
card.
playoff game.
Phillip Rivers.
You might win a playoff game.
Phillip
depending on who
Rivers
you pick.
has.
I think-
He
I think-
loves Phillip Rivers.
I
Kind of
love
complete
Phillip
team. I think
Rivers.
so.
You've seen him play this year. I've watched every Colts game. He is not the quarterback he used to be. That's
The
obvious.
last few games.
I think he's
okay.
the exact same quarterback
The-
he used to be.
the
He still
last-
throws turnovers, but he throws
Okay,
the
yeah.
ball.
See, that's that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you're
I'm
saying,
used to him
if you're
throwing
saying,
turnovers.
yeah.
I'm used to him throwing
Yeah,
turnovers.
If you're saying that. But no, it's
What we
obvious
don't
his
like is
arm
that
is
he-
nowhere near what it used to be.
Oh no, absolutely not. But his accuracy up to 20, 25 yards, 30 yards, I think he's okay. He's okay. He's still got it. I think him trying to fit those tight things, like when he was the gunslinger of back in the day, competing with the rest of it, I don't think he's got that anymore.
But he's so
I think-
immobile that anytime there's a sense of pressure on the
But you
quarterback,
have-
But you have a
it's
strong
nothing.
line.
Yeah, that's
you
what I
have
was gonna
stud
say.
line.
That's a misconception. We were great last year. This year we've not been as good.
Well, you've
We've had injuries.
Phillip
Castano
Rivers-
just went down. I think
Well,
Kelly
you've
just
changed
got
guards
back.
like 5 times. That I know.
We haven't
But-
been as good as last year at the guard spot.
Phillip Rivers has
take that one
3
over the Jets
games
line.
this season. Phillip Rivers has
back
3
that
games
Jet.
this season where he has 3 touchdowns thrown. I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because our defense has played fantastic and our offense has the ball the whole game. Our
Okay.
defense, we lost to the Browns by 20. all because of Philip Rivers. I'm watching the game. Our defense again, stop after
You lost to the
stop.
Browns by 9.
Yeah, but we had no chance in the game.
Okay, so here you go. You ready? They beat the Green Bay Packers arguably.
Yeah, that was an amazing game.
Great game.
I love that game.
They beat the brakes off the Tennessee Titans.
And then just
Then
got
they beat the
30
mopped
plus
off.
points
40,
in both
41
games.
something, right?
30 plus
Yes.
points in both games.
And our defense was Our defense has the most touchdowns in the NFL this year for any
Okay,
defense.
they gave up 31 points against the Green Bay Packers. Okay, all I'm saying is this: he put up 41 points against the Detroit Lions. 31, bro. There almost every game he's put up 27 plus points this year. Almost every
Yeah,
game.
but our defense is the reason for that. You're just saying, Philip Rivers is putting up all these points. He's not.
Wait, your defense is throwing the ball?
No, obviously
So
not.
you're saying
but
their
our
defense is getting him the ball?
Is top 5 in every. Yes.
He's saying they're getting a lot of possessions.
We're getting a
which I'm
lot of
pretty sure
possessions.
is true.
But he's
Our run
protecting
game,
the
The
rock.
quarterback still has to get the job done.
Yeah, but you could put 20 different
agree.
quarterbacks in that spot, and we'd have the same record or a better record.
This is false.
That's 100% true.
I think his
think
point's
so.
going to be they went 6-10 with Jacoby Brissett, and not a lot of teams are
Absolutely.
doing that.
You think there's. I think there's 15 quarterbacks that could do the same thing as Philip
Jacoby
Rivers.
Brissett right now has this team with this record.
I didn't say
Ooh.
Jacoby Brissett. I said 15 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks.
Oh, my guy. Every team would be better with 15 other quarterbacks there.
Not true.
No?
No.
You want to go down the list? Because we've done this once before. You sure?
You're going to take the top teams and change the quarterback and then be better?
Bro, I'm going to take mediocre teams and we'll say that there's 15 quarterbacks that could make them better. By the way, you're talking about teams like the New York Jets that actually have a very good defense.
Ooh, don't say
did
that.
not say
Don't say that. Don't say
The
that.
Jets don't have a good
say
defense.
that.
No, the Jets
They
have
have- they're
a strong
capable.
front seven,
They're
but I'm
not
going to tell
very
you,
good.
We don't have
to
a
your
good
point,
defense.
what John's saying is most of the time the defense is on the field the
that
entire
defense is
time.
on a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Right, so
Absolutely.
they're under a ton of pressure in
Absolutely.
a huge market.
So we
with
can't say the same thing
nothing
about the
to say.
Colts, just the opposite?
No, I don't think so.
No, I do agree with him with that because
How can we?
Because when you look at the games they do lose, it's
And
because they gave up a lot of points.
And I would love you to check games that we put up 30-plus points in. I bet you we had a special teams touchdown, a defensive touchdown. We blocked the punt, I think, against the Titans last time. That's why I have so many points. Pick 6.
See,
It's
I
not
say
Phillip
the
Rivers. You
opposite.
give no
if I
credit
put
to
Phillip
Phillip
Rivers,
Rivers.
If I put Phillip Rivers on the Jets right now, I guarantee you we have at least 8-8 or better season.
Oh, my
Ooh,
God, no.
No, I don't agree
You would
with
have
that
one
either.
win, maybe.
No, I don't think.
I don't
I
think
think
you'd
we're
have
in the
a
same
win.
spot.
Phillip Rivers?
Yes.
Yes.
No,
I would love
think
to
he
see-
would-
You're
defense is
getting
better than a
exactly
young
what
quarterback.
you're getting exactly what we saw with Joe Flacco. That's
would-
exactly what you're getting. We're gonna win. We're gonna
Joe
score
Flacco.
20 points.
Wait,
Joe
a competitive
Flacco's-
game?
Okay, Eric obviously knows
Joe
Phillip
Flacco
Rivers.
2 weeks in a row put up
uncompet-
27 points with the team that Sam Darnold
But
can't
what
throw
did we
touchdowns
still
with.
do? We still lost, right? That's my point with it. He
No,
said 8 and 8.
I still,
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but 8-8 is better than what we're doing right now.
No, I'm saying we're not getting
Okay,
8
I
wins.
know
no
what
matter
you're
the
saying. I agree
quarterback
with you.
substitution.
I think
I don't think
it
so.
equals 3 wins. What I'm saying to you is
Okay, that I can be
what
on
I'm
board
saying.
with.
Okay,
No, they don't
what
even
I-
get
let's
3.
split the difference,
They don't
we'll
even
call it
get
5.
3.
But what I'm
We'll
saying,
call it 5.
What I'm saying, we're calling
In
it
my-
3.
in my head.
But what I'm
calling
saying,
it 5.
What I'm saying is that
Gonna edit this show
is
later.
that Flacco is that Joe Flacco 2 weeks in a row with the same personnel that Sam Darnold has
Did great.
scores points. Sam Darnold comes back with the same wide receivers
Can't score
and
points.
still
the team.
sees goals.
I agree.
So the fact of the matter is Phillip Rivers is definitely better than Joe Flacco.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
obviously.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just.
He knows
so he
that.
wins those games.
No, the thing I'm saying
No,
is.
they're still not a good enough team.
The thing I'm saying is with
So you're-
when it comes to the Jets
doesn't make
specifically, it's that when you say 3-13, I agree 3-13. Phillip Rivers is getting you 3 wins, but you're getting them the way Flacco is. You're competitive now. That's what it is. You're competitive in games. You're still a bad football team. What I think Tom's saying with the Colts is it doesn't matter because the issues with Phillip Rivers is when it comes to throwing the ball past 15 yards, that's always where his pick comes in. That's always where the mistake comes in, and that's always why they lose games because it happens like that, and he can't help the defense the way the defense helps him.
So is
Absolutely,
that
Eric.
Phillip Rivers' inability to throw the ball, or is that the play calling?
No, our
is that
play
on the
Our
coach?
play calling is fantastic.
It's incredible.
I don't wanna
It's
blame Frank
incredible. It's incredible to think that there is somebody out there in the universe.
Oh my God.
Somehow he's
So
sitting
dramatic.
next to me. that would take Jacoby Brissett over Phillip Rivers.
I didn't say that. I
You're-
said Sam Darnold.
bro. You
That's it. Wrestling match right
you
now.
are actually
On the
you-
carpet.
You are.
I said 15
you are
starting
the epitome
QBs.
of fake news.
How? I said 15 starting QBs. Is Jacoby Brissett a starting quarterback? That doesn't make any sense.
Jacoby Brissett is bottom 5. Phillip Rivers is top 15. because he's a serviceable
He's
quarterback.
like 6'17".
Here we go.
I said 15. I don't know what you're not getting about that. Jacoby
No,
Brissett.
I
is
got
not
you.
a
I got
starter.
you. It's just like what I said before about the top 5, and then we're
You know
talking
what I
about
mean?
the
All
one
right.
more.
Like-
no. He's 16.
I
Let
would
me-
love
let me
Matthew
change it and say-
Stafford.
Let me
over him.
change it instead of going to like who's 15, 16, and 17. Derek Carr, Phillip Rivers. I know he's gonna say Derek
Carr.
I know he's gonna say Derek Carr. I'm just
No
curious
way.
for you.
No way. Derek Carr's had the best season of his career.
no, I'm
No,
saying
I might
Derek Carr.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna take
Easy.
Derek Carr too. But I'm saying like, how much better are they with Derek Carr?
Not
They're
much
7 and
better.
4 right now.
Yeah. Or yeah, I think so.
So I think John's trying to say that the way that Phillip Rivers should get some credit is he's been
playing
serviceable
quarterback,
enough.
so yeah, he gets credit.
He's
but
been
I'm saying
serviceable enough.
The reason we're winning games, it's not because he's throwing touchdowns and putting up stats. It's our defense easily.
This guy's wild, bro. Wild.
You got nothing to say back. You were saying, "Oh, he's wild."
No, because I'm looking at the list of teams, and I'm like, dude,
And we've beaten all the bad teams, and when we played the good teams besides the Packers, Titans, we've lost games.
right
That
now,
is
important
true.
games.
That is
Yeah.
true.
right now, there are teams out there.
See, it's
that-
easy to do this because I don't care that much about the Colts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see, I gotta back my Colts, bro. Come on.
Oh
you know
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You
He's
know
getting
that.
hype over there.
You know that.
I'm over here mediating.
All because I actually think we've been a better team than I thought we'd be this season. I thought we weren't gonna. I thought we would be maybe 8-8 or like
you
around
said
there.
you said 6 and 10.
I know
So-
because I hated the Phillip Rivers signing.
so
but-
here it
After
is.
the Jaguars lost, you said 6
Oh,
and 10.
Jaguars lost. I was done with the season.
So
Week
he
one.
hated the Phillip Rivers signing. You thought they were going to be 6 and 10. Here they are at 7 and 4 with Phillip Rivers.
And we have the Steelers next week, I think. We're going to lose that game. And we play Jacksonville, which is a win. Then we have another
You
loss.
see
in
how
there.
hard he's stretching to like
That-
make
how is
it
that
out to be
stretching?
Phillip Rivers is bad. You thought you were going to
Phillip Rivers is bad. He's
You
the reason
thought
we're
you were
losing.
gonna
I
go
think it's more personal.
Bro, you
I think he
thought-
just doesn't like Phillip
You
Rivers.
thought you were going 6 and 10
It is
with the
personal.
Phillip
Like,
Rivers.
It's
side.
personal. He's angry
They're
at the signing.
7 and 4.
From the
just said how
moment he
happy I
walked
am
onto
with
the
the season.
Colts.
So he's been exceeding expectations.
That doesn't
Give
mean
the guy
he's
some
better.
love.
That doesn't mean he's better than 15 other quarterbacks.
I
That
love
do the
it.
same thing.
Tommy gets mad when you sway him.
I'm not swaying.
I'm not
definitely
swaying. I'm staying.
Definitely not swaying.
The funny thing is the arguments the 16 the argument is literally that John's saying the 15th best
16th.
15th best quarterback in the league is
Like,
good,
no,
and
no,
Tom's
no.
saying the 16th best quarterback in the league is bad.
Facts. Phillip
That's
Rivers
really what it
stinks.
is. That's really what it is.
So
mean,
you guys
listen.
are agreeing to agree.
Whatever. I'm backing my Colts. Phillip Rivers is not the play.
Guys, he's so fugazi, bro.
This
Listen,
guy.
it is okay.
Oh, is that a better
Next-
one? Bro Fugazi?
Next,
I like
next,
that.
Brogazi.
next hot topic here. At the end of the season, there's going to be obviously awards for everything. We're going to have Coach of the Year. I'm going to give you my candidate, and I want you guys to dissect it and tell me if I'm crazy.
I think I know where you're going to go.
I already know. He's playing
Bill,
tonight.
Bill Belichick.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're nuts.
Absolutely
You ready?
not.
He's not going to win, but I love where you're going.
Hold up,
Okay.
I want to hear the explanation.
No problem. So the Patriots, they arguably lost the most pieces before the season started. Dante Hightower, he chose to opt out because of
Oh, the
COVID.
opt-outs,
Yeah.
right.
Patrick Chung chose to opt out. They lost 15 people altogether because of COVID.
Starters.
And starters, including losing Tom Brady, right? You bring in Cam Newton a few weeks before the start of the season without any sort of
A very
cohesiveness.
fragile Cam Newton.
A very fragile, without any cohesiveness whatsoever. They're 5-6, and Cam Newton was out because of COVID. You beat teams. You beat the Ravens. You beat the Cardinals. You actually almost beat the Texans, which I know all of us. I love Deshaun Watson. You love Deshaun Watson, right? And I know you like Deshaun Watson. So that was one of those games. You lost by 5 to the Seattle Seahawks. You beat the Raiders. Bro, there's a lot of major wins in there. And you lost to a Bills team that's in the upper echelon of the league. You lost to the Seahawks team that's in the upper echelon of the league. You lost to the Chiefs, which is the best in the league. And you lost to the Texans with Deshaun Watson with major wins on your resume, keeping it very close. You lost by 3 to the Bills, 5 to the Seahawks, 6 to the Broncos. You have an opportunity here and a touchdown, which, by the way, at the end of the game, they had a chance to score and tie the game. So all I'm saying is Bill Belichick has done more with less than anybody else in the NFL. So at 5-6, with a chance, I mean, listen, the Patriots are definitely on life support for sure, right? Like there's many more teams that I can look at in this conference, I'm definitely going to pick the Colts as a better team. I'm definitely going to pick the Titans. I'm going to pick the Bills. I'm going to pick these teams.
It's obvious they don't have the talent.
But if you look at what this guy is working with right now, and if you actually see their depth chart, dude, their wide receivers are Jacoby Myers, Demir Bird, and N'Keal Harry. Their tight end is Ryan Izzo. Okay?
He left out his guy, Julian Edelman.
No, because right now he's out. So I'm only talking about the active.
I got you.
Yeah. So I'm talking about, because
He's not including the guys that have been out since week 4.
because they've injured reserve. They have guys out. Marquise Lee's out. So I'm not going to
package.
So their offensive line, which none of us will ever have heard of, Jermaine Illuminor,
What?
Joe Thuney,
Illumination.
that the
David
one that's been
Andrews,
good?
Shaq Mason, and Mike Onwenu. Okay,
Who's one of those is the rookie tackle that was actually having a really good year though.
I don't know, but if we don't know who, then probably nobody
Point
else
is
knows.
they're not good.
It's left or right tackle.
So
That's all I know.
So on defense, you literally the only guys that we know are Devin McCourty and Stephon Gilmore. And by the way, this proves how great of a defensive-minded coach Bill Belichick is and how he can get his guys ready. When you have guys rushing the passer named Lawrence Guy, Brian Cowart, and Dietrich
great
Wise
football name.
Jr. And by the way, your linebackers are John Simon, Terez Hall, and Jaywan Bentley. Okay? All I'm saying, guys, is there may be an issue when only the player's mom knows who they are and we don't. So all I'm saying is we can talk about other coaches, but I'd like for you to prove me wrong here on this one.
I think there's one guy, and he's in the same division, and it's Brian Flores, because we've seen he's doing a lot with a lot of young players. He's doing a lot with guys we haven't seen before. So after Devontae Parker, when you go through receiver, you're naming guys like Albert Wilson, Preston Williams, like an O-line that's definitely a bunch of no-name guys. I know Solomon Kinley's on there, and the only reason I know him is because he almost went to the Jets in like the 5th round or something like that. So you're running Myles Gaskin at running back.
Who's been nice.
He's been very good. And I'm sure someone who's no names like we know on the Patriots have performed well enough to get similar recognition. Obviously not to the level of Myles Gaskin, but similar in that sense. So if that's the argument, I'd just say Brian Flores then, because they are 7-4 and they're in a better position than them in the same division. And
Flores is a Belichick guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is a
He was
Belichick
under
guy.
Belichick. And that
Belichick's cool.
defense is the reason they're winning games, Miami. And he's a defensive head coach. So that obviously bodes. The only thing I would say about Bill, it's a great point. I think Bill's doing a great job. They have no business beating the Ravens, beating the Cardinals. The Ravens game the
They have
weather
business
played
beating
a
the
lot.
Cardinals.
No, I don't think so.
Bad teams beat the Cardinals.
The talent disparity.
They
is
don't
too
lose
much
in big
there.
The
games.
Cardinals
but
are very up and down.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're very up and down. But anyway, I think they're a year away. They need another year. But I think if we're talking who's actually going to win it, Bill won't win it because it's not going to be a team that probably doesn't make the playoffs. Right. I think a guy who is probably in the same situation as Bill is Kyle Shanahan. He's done a great job with the team. That players that just got decimated, backup QBs, backup running backs. Deebo Samuel, I think, is the only really George Kittle, but he's been on and off.
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, he's been all right. He's a rookie.
He's been hurt though.
But he's done a great job with that team. They just beat the Rams last week for the second time. They're not as good as the Rams. I think he deserves recognition too.
Guys, I'm going to go with the low-hanging fruit. I'm going to go Mike Tomlin.
Yeah,
I know he's got all right, so he's got the most complete team. The most healthy team. I'm going to tell you though, to take a team when you were missing just your quarterback, they went 8-8 last year? Last season?
Something like that.
Something like that. They
Yeah,
were
Big
middle of
Ben
the
was
pack
out,
because
yeah.
without the
I thought they had a
Rudolph, the
tie,
other guy.
yeah.
Now after that to go 8-8 to get one guy back and a couple rookies, and then to go undefeated so far, and right now they're winning 12-7 against Baltimore.
Jesus.
And it's in the fourth. It's 13 minutes left
Tomlin's
in the fourth
been a
quarter.
great coach.
He's
I
always,
have
he's
I have
always a
another
solid
wild
coach.
card too, though.
He's always been a solid coach, but I think definitely for somebody to take their middle of the pack team, add one guy and a couple rookies, and keep it undefeated.
He's definitely
Undefeated
Yeah.
though. If he was, you know what I mean, if it was like he was middle of the pack, 8 and something or 7-4, you know what I mean, I could understand where everybody else. I'd go with your picks, guys undefeated.
Yeah, he's
I gotta
definitely
go
up
with the
there.
low-hanging
I think there's
Like
one more
Tom.
wild card we need to talk about, and that is Kevin Stefanski, because the Browns are 8-3. No matter how we feel about them, no matter what their roster is and their
I
players are, the Browns have not been 8-3 in a long
you're
time.
100% right, but I think
Kevin
they've had the
Smith.
easiest schedule in football up to this point.
The Steelers have.
Okay, so they have the second or third, I think I heard today.
yeah.
But I think now they start playing more division games. So because I think we all know that the Browns aren't really for real.
They're gonna make the
Baker's
playoffs.
not a good thrower to
I
football.
think there's a problem
Run game
there.
is serious.
I think they've identified themselves though.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think
why
that they are
Stefanski
now
deserves recognition.
And I agree with
Yeah.
that. Yes, I like to those points. Those two running backs they have.
oh, they're
Why
fantastic.
do you need?
Let's talk
Just
about
snap it.
one of those running backs that I was told he can't hold.
Still not better than the guy who's going to be offensive player
I
of the year.
told you.
Chubster.
Do you want to hear something? Do you want to hear a funny
Chubbinator.
stat? Because I know I'm getting in John mode.
Chumbawamba.
I'm getting in John mode right now. Because do you want to hear a funny stat about Nick Chubb? Nick Chubb missed 4 games. He's 7th in the league in rushing, and Alvin Kamara is 17th.
Okay, because he doesn't get all those touches. But when
No,
that
he
boy has the
actually
ball,
Alvin
he goes.
Kamara. Alvin Kamara actually
he's
has
like
more
5
touches.
and he's like 5-something yards a carry.
I-
5.8.
Another
thing-
defense to that though is that Cleveland doesn't throw the ball.
The only thing I will
Why would you?
concede. The only thing I will concede is Alvin Kamara is a top 5 back.
He's amazing.
100%. I'm not taking that. But my whole point was guys like Nick Chubb and Dalvin Cook are closer to him than people think, and I have Dalvin ahead of him right now, and I have Nick Chubb right behind him. The person I'm actually dropping out is probably Zeke or Saquon,
Yeah, Zeke's
Oh,
big,
yeah.
though.
because Zeke's been playing bad and Saquon's.
Well, I mean, Saquon's hurt. Saquon's been hurt.
and
since
Saquon's
week
been,
2,
but that's
so.
2 years. So now you got to see that's got to
Injury prone. Yeah,
When
that
guys
puts
are
the asterisk next
when
to it.
guys are performing and you're not on the field, guys hop ahead of you, in my opinion.
That's right.
You're
That's how you
right.
lose your job.
To get back to Kevin Stefanski, will get recognition, but they're going to start losing games now. They play Baltimore, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh absolutely dismantled them the first time they played. It was obvious they're not on that level. They're going to get blown out by the Steelers. I think they'll get blown out by the Ravens. They probably have easy games, and I think they'll lose in the first round.
Let's say so at 8-3 they'll probably be 9-7 or 10-6. I think that's a playoff team. I don't think
this year it's a playoff team, but
Can I tell you
normally it's
something?
probably not.
Baker Mayfield has
Stinks.
Baker Mayfield has thrown. He is number 23 out of 32 for attempts. The Browns, by far, have the most rushing attempts
right.
in the NFL.
Kareem got a lot of them.
They both have 700 yards rushing, Chubb and Hunt.
Yes.
So what I'm going to say to you is for an offense that literally makes sure their quarterback does not throw them out of the game, you better have running backs that get the job.
And let's
done.
not act like their offense is dynamic. They've won games 10-7.
So they
No,
rush.
yeah, yeah.
they- So,
Defense been
so
holding
the
their own,
fact.
too.
So the fact is you still have to be a good running back to get the yards.
Yeah.
You still got to. You still got to do it. And Chubb does it, no doubt. But if you're saying right now, there was twice this year that Drew Brees went down. Alvin Kamara has Taysom Hill also scoring goal lines.
He's taking literally
By the way, there was a buddy of mine. There was
But wait, what does that say about you as a running back?
nothing. It's just that the scheme now is all
Nothing?
Taysom Hill.
Nothing. Hold up. Me and Tom are gonna go into.
They don't go to
different
Alvin
world real
Kamara
quick.
enough.
If I'm a shooter on the court, right, and I'm going out and my job is to shoot and I'm not shooting well, and someone else comes in, but I'm scoring in the lane,
Uh-huh.
am I a shooter anymore?
But
Am I looked upon as the shooter on the court anymore? Do they have to guard me at the 3-point line?
You can look at that like
That's
that
what
in
I'm saying.
basketball, though. But in football,
I
it's a
don't get
hat
it.
on a hat.
yeah, I'm lost.
No, I'm saying
lost
saying this. If I'm naturally a shooter, right? I come into the season, I'm a shooter, right? I get
you're
the ball,
shooting bad.
I get in the wing. I'm shooting bad. I'm shooting like 20%.
And then someone comes in and shoots better.
But
Yeah, that
but someone comes in and shoots better. But I'm going and I'm scoring at the
All
rim, right?
Yeah,
You can. I'm versatile, right? I'm still
Okay.
a good player, right?
sure.
Do I get the spot as the best shooter on the team anymore?
No, you're not shooting well.
That's what I'm saying with Alvin Kamara. As an athlete, he is a top athlete in this sport. He is a top 5 running back because of what he can do outside of his job description. But when it comes to his job description, there are people that do that better than him. And it is noticeably, and there are even people on his team with Latavius Murray
No,
that can
stop.
run the ball better than him.
No, he does not run
And
the
I
ball.
think
they
that's
run the ball
Alvin
different.
Kamara.
No, I think
They
they
run
run the
it
ball
different.
He's a power back.
That's
Murray.
Yes, he's a downhill runner.
The
He's somebody
Latavius
for in
Murray is
between
an
the gaps.
exaggeration.
I think what
understand
you're
that.
saying it makes a great point if we're talking about basketball specifically, because you can have the one star that makes that play and changes the whole dynamic of the game. In football, you got a hat on a hat. If you got one guy misses that play, It doesn't matter which guy, whether they get in the A gap, the B gap, or the C gap.
Right.
If you're running that way, he's going to get stopped.
Right, but my
So-
thing is, why does that only happen for
Bro,
Alvin Kamara if we're making
but
that
Alvin
argument?
Kamara
Because they
catches screen
scheme.
passes and
They
takes them
scheme,
80
they
yards.
scheme, right?
But
So
right.
who do
It's
you?
basically a run.
What Tommy was saying is that they're scheming. It's changing the game plan because now you don't
Since
have the
Taysom Hill
quarterback.
got in,
It
Kamara's
doesn't-
stats have went.
because you're not because
They
you
went
don't have
down
Drew
before-
Brees
They went down
throwing the
before
ball.
that, though. They went
Bro.
down before that, though,
Bro,
because
think
he
about
had-
it.
He was
Think
leading
about
the
this.
NFL, I believe, in touchdowns.
Think about
Yeah.
this. Think about this. Chubb's only played 7 games this year because he had his sting, right? Mm-hmm. He's rushed for only 13 attempts less than a guy who's played the whole season, which
Right.
means that all they do
Is run the ball.
is feed him the ball. Kamara can't help if they're feeding him the ball or not.
Exactly.
You're talking about
That's what I'm
an
trying to say.
NBA or shooter. If me and you are on the court, right? We can dictate how our offense looks because if the point guard finds us, we have the choice to pass the rock or shoot it. If Kamara is not in the game plan because they're using Taysom Hill, he has no choice. He's not getting the ball. They're forcing it to Chubb every single down.
Literally the headline-
because they don't have no quarterback.
My point I want to say is when we say they're forcing it to Chubb, we're going to say that 2 different coaches have done that now because of Baker Mayfield's inability. So my point is, if we're going to say that it's not Alvin's fault that he's not getting the ball because Taysom Hill can get the ball and they scheme that way, why don't we say for Nick it's not his fault that he's producing when he's getting the ball because Baker can't throw it? The same way. Nobody questioned
Dorsey both
Dalvin.
ways. All right.
The same thing. No one
a good
questioned Dalvin when Kevin Stefanski was the offensive coordinator in Minnesota, and he didn't let Kirk Cousins throw the ball, and they won games because they handed it to Dalvin. Because you're seeing this year, even when Dalvin doesn't have that head coach, and they let Kirk Cousins air it out, he is still capable of doing that job no matter when he gets it.
No, I think what Tommy's saying though is that it's not that he's not capable. It's that's how it's playing out, and football is not like you're not like what we're saying. You're not stopping halfway through the play and go, oh shit, no, I got to throw it.
Right.
He can't
You're
do that. He
judging-
doesn't have that choice. He's got to finish that play.
Literally,
out.
the last
I'm
2
saying-
weeks have been, is Kamara's fantasy value stunted with QB at Hill? Alvin Kamara's
You're-
fantasy outlook while Breeze is out is bad.
I understand
You're
that.
judging your point. While I understand it, and it is a valid one, your point.
Steelers scored.
Your point is also your point that you're making is you're not judging. We're talking about the running back position. We can't judge Kamara as a running back because they don't use him as a running back in a sense
Still
of.
puts up a
That's my
There's-
point, though.
So the fact is,
I think this what the eye test comes into play with Alvin Kamara. When you watch him play, you're like, that kid's electric.
Absolutely.
He
Yes.
catches screen passes, which like we saw it to Derrick Henry last week against Colts. They basically threw a screen pass, but it was at lunch, so it counts as a run. They
But
do that to
didn't-
Kamara all the time, and Kamara takes it for 40 yards.
Hold up.
Yep.
Didn't we just have a whole big conversation about Tyreek Hill's ability to be electric and ability to be schemed in and how we take credit away from him? So I'm saying I don't want to double standard guys, and I want to say, hey,
bro,
that's the same way Alvin Kamara is used. And yes, in my opinion, that does put him behind in a category of running backs behind running backs. But that doesn't take away how good, like, if you know how they do the NFL 100 every year? When they go to it, I'm still going to have Alvin Kamara in my top 25 because I know how good of a football player he is.
Right.
But when I'm making a running back tiers list, I'm going to go, well, Derrick Henry's probably the best back in the league, in my opinion, right now.
Yeah.
I'd probably say Christian McCaffrey second because even though he's been hurt, I'm not going to take away what he did with the 1,000. And then after that, it's probably Alvin or Dalvin. I'm fine either way. It's one of those guys. And then after that, it's probably Nick Chubb, Zeke, or Saquon. I see him in tiers.
Listen, dude, Alvin Kamara, without being part of the without being part of the run game, like he should, right? Where there's guys taking away from what he can be doing, knowing that when Drew Brees is there, he has a plethora of options, right, to throw the ball to with arguably the best wide receiver on the field. The guy has 68 receptions this year, 4 touchdowns. He's rushed for 585 yards with 8 touchdowns. So he is, without being used like a true running back, still puts up really nice running back numbers while being a great wide receiver. Something you'll never hear anybody say about Nick Chubb.
But how can you
is-
say that when he's not used that way either? We haven't seen Nick
probably
Yost using
can't
the
be
passing
used
game.
that
Because
way.
because
Why do
if
we?
he-
Hold on,
because
hold
if
on,
he
how do
could
we
be
know he
used
can't
that
be used that way?
because if he could be used that way, why wouldn't they?
So why can't I say the same thing for Alvin Kamara? If he could be used as a true running back, why doesn't Sean Payton, one of the most
He's got
one of
8
the
rushing.
things-
He's got 8 rushing touchdowns.
But if he only
Here's a
has the
basketball
same amount of attempts as Nick Chubb, and Nick Chubb's missed 4 games, clearly someone's not using him that way.
I have a call. Oh.
So to your point, so in the basketball scheme of things, like
Right.
we were looking at, right? So
Right.
At that point, you have the option,
Right.
right? So
I understand that, and I'll take that away because I understand that, yes, you have the option. I understand that Alvin doesn't have the option to get the ball in his hands every play. I get that. That's fair. That's 100% fair. So that was a bad analogy. I'll concede that. But what I am saying is...
it wasn't about. Well, I don't think it was so much about the blame as what I'm saying, as opposed to the
Nah, it
calling,
was about the blame
play
for
calling.
me.
I know it was.
Accountability is big. 0 of that in 2020. So when you can really,
I actually agree with that.
you gotta, you know what I'm saying?
There isn't a lot of accountability.
No,
for people these
there's.
days.
By the way, there's absolutely 0 accountability. With that being said, you guys want to go like loot a Walmart or something like this? No, we're in Walmart together.
Walmart.
That's acceptable, right?
There's 0
We
accountability.
can go live from Walmart.
I think so.
We're going live from.
I got some Christmas shopping to do, my friend.
By the way, can you tell? You'll know a married guy with a family with the way that their jokes end up being at the end of it. So I'm talking to a friend, and we're like, "Hey, dude, if you were gonna go loot a store, where would you loot?" And he was like, "Bro,
Target."
He was like, Home Goods all day. Everyone else is like Best Buy.
Not my first choice. Home good.
But that's what I said.
Yeah.
See, you can always tell. And he's like, bro, I got to make my wife happy. And everyone else like, I'm trying to get my TVs. I'm like, yo, dog, I'm trying to get like,
I'm going to Home Depot.
I'm trying to Home Depot.
Hey, man,
to Home
let's
Depot,
not
bro.
succumb to stereotypes, bro. I know damn well what's going to happen there. I ain't getting too about the words and stuff, man. That's the last place people going to see me.
Me,
Here we go again.
I mean, for me, listen, I told him, I said, Bed Bath & Beyond, dog. I'm in it to win it. I'm trying to get a good down comforter. I'm trying to get
Weighted
the brownie-
blanket.
the brownie points from the wife, you know? I come home with things that I would not normally buy that I know would make her happy. I am in it, bro. I'm not coming home with the TV. That's like, you know, she'd be like, really? Another TV? That's what you need, bro? You're so selfish. Meanwhile, Tom's over here with 4 TVs in the back of his car, you know? But it's listen, man. Alvin Kamara.
Talk about we're going live at 8.
Alvin Kamara. We said Pittsburgh up 19-7. This game is such a joke. This game's a
Is
joke.
Baltimore going to make the playoffs, you think?
Not now. Not now. No, but look,
No, even if they
Baltimore-
lose, all right. So they lose this game. I think they have a shot.
They'll be 6-5.
Pittsburgh,
No, I think they got a
Chiefs.
shot, but the
Pittsburgh Chiefs, Bills,
No, they're not making it.
Browns, Colts,
Ooh.
oh yeah, no, the Colts.
and the
Colts.
They
and
killed
the,
those.
they don't
the
play the Colts.
Raiders.
Spoilers.
They
The,
beat
the
us already.
Dolphins will have a better record, and they'll have the same record as the Raiders, and they'll be 1 game up
Ooh.
on the Patriots.
Wait, they have a good
Oh, yeah.
schedule after this, actually. They
Miami?
Cowboys,
That's a win. That's a win.
Browns,
Wait, who are we talking about?
Ravens, Cowboys, Browns,
They lose to the Browns.
Jaguars,
Not a chance.
Giants,
You don't think they lose to the Browns?
and Bengals. Hold up, it doesn't matter if they lose to the Browns.
That's
Cowboys,
that's
Browns, Jaguars, Giants, and Bengals.
That's a favorable match. There's 4 wins there.
Yeah.
There's 4 wins there.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, that's favorable. That's
Yeah,
favorable.
but they're also the Patriots too. So
That's favorable though.
That's favorable. So who's dropping it? I
So
don't think
depending
Miami
who loses in the next 3 weeks.
The Raiders got
Raiders are probably
The
going to drop
Raiders.
out.
they just lost 43-6.
But are we doing that? Because then you're going to who are you going to have? You're going to have the Browns. You're going to have 3 teams from one division.
Yeah.
Browns, Colts, and Ravens.
Yeah, considering the fact that the Colts don't play in that division, but
Yeah, it's true.
It's Browns.
Thought you were going to say
Browns.
Ravens.
No, I'm saying because of the Steelers and the.
Yeah, he don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know, he's lost. By the way,
Who dat?
he's still thinking about his shooting guard analogy that I don't really know.
Hey, bro, that's only because we see. That's only because we've seen that. I've seen that before. That's actually horrible.
Let me ask you, who you think shoots better, you or Tommy?
Oh, I won our 3-point contest, so
you won- oh,
I'm
sorry.
gonna take that. But Tom
fine.
can. Tom's a better scorer than me.
Tom's
though.
like, yeah, I'll dunk
Tom's
on
a
you,
better
son.
overall scorer.
Sounds
than
like
me. I'll
y'all
give him
dunk
that.
on you, son.
He's like
I don't need to talk.
he's like
Oh,
So
come
let's go
on,
outside,
yeah.
son. Let's go
I don't need to
outside.
talk. My game speaks for itself. I'm just kidding. I haven't played basketball in like 8 months.
I haven't played in
Like
2
8
weeks.
years.
I try to play once a week. That's gone south the last few weeks.
God bless you. What are you guys in your 20s?
Biggest loss in the last few years that I've seen personally, Joe Burrow's. Could you say that any franchise has lost more with the way that Joe Burrow looked with the
he
injury
looked
he had?
so good playing.
Bro,
football.
I don't know if he comes
Washington.
back from that.
No, he will. With the
Washington.
recovery these days,
Oh, you're
and
saying with
how
Alex
they can do
Smith?
it.
Yeah, Alex Smith, Washington.
Come on. Alex Smith, when he got
dude.
injured, was
He'll be
35.
back.
Joe Burrow's a rookie.
You're saying that's what I'm saying.
Are you saying in recent history or ever?
I don't
No,
think.
recent.
No,
I
recent
would say
history.
Joe
I still don't
Theismann
think that
would
that's
be-
bad.
I was going to say
because-
Sean
well, yeah.
Taylor.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I think regardless
on
of
the field,
if we're not
yeah.
talking about just recent history, then I mean you're looking at his youth and I think he has availability to be able to recover.
He's so good too,
Bro.
man.
And he's
so
got
good.
a ton of
He's
heart.
So good.
Ton of heart.
I couldn't. I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I was actually like upset when he
So
got
was
hurt.
I.
Yeah.
I'm watching Joe Burrow. I'm thinking to
I was
myself,
excited.
This guy
Watching
is,
him, he's an exciting player.
This guy's the future of the NFL, and he plays in Cincinnati in his home state, and nobody wants to go there. And normally, when people play for their home state, they crumble. Right? There's too much pressure. He goes home, and the dude is,
It's a baller.
bro. He's awesome, man.
Baller.
And I was. Man, I was like, dude, this sucks, bro.
Yeah,
Tragic.
that was the quarterback class this year has been really good. Best probably recently. Herbert looks like a baller.
Herbert
Herbert's a
looks
stud.
great.
Can anybody answer me what's going on with the fact that Tua gets benched like
I liked it.
every other game and brings in like what is that?
I liked
well,
it.
listen, I like obviously Tua was the play going into the bye. That was their plan all along because Fitzpatrick was playing well. Comes in, gets 3 wins in a row. Eric knows how much I love Tua.
That's why I'm shocked.
I think he's really good, and he's a rookie. He's going to take his
I like
lumps.
him.
He had a bad game. I think Brian Flores is saying, "Yeah, you're a rookie. Obviously, you're our franchise guy. But if you're not playing good football, you're not getting on the field." Like sending him a message. We got Fitzpatrick here still. Don't get it twisted.
I don't think it was so much a message. I think it was more of, listen, he's not doing good. I need to win the game. I'm going to put who I think is my
smart.
best,
Nah,
my
it's
best
a
foot
message.
forward.
It's a message.
can I ask you a
Because
question?
everybody knows what Fitzmagic is going to crumble into
Yeah.
When's the last
by
time
right about now.
that's worked? When's the last time it's worked? You have a rookie QB with a ton of promise, right?
Right, you let him play.
He's very
You
accurate.
let him play.
There.
I agree.
Yeah.
So when's the last time you saw a coaching decision with a QB carousel that's worked in the end? It never does because because it's gonna. I think you're doing more damage to his psyche than saying to listen, we handed the keys to the car over to you for better or worse. You're a rookie, dude. More than likely, you're not going to make much of this opportunity other than getting reps and seeing some real in-game live speed action. You win a few games. Now, because you're underperforming as a rookie, we're going to pull you out for Ryan Fitzpatrick when, by the way, I felt that they should have stayed with Ryan Fitzpatrick. I thought that they should have continued to let Tua's hip. I don't know how healed
Right,
up it is, but I thought they should have continued to make sure that there was no residual effect. Let him continue to learn and see the game. Learn from Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's a great placeholder. He's been a placeholder for quite a few teams. The Bills, before Josh Allen came in, quite a few. And you bring him in, and the first time in a losing effort, you pull him. Like you're telling him you can never be behind in a game. It's weak to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I love Brian Flores, dude. I love Brian.
Listen,
Flores.
I like him, and maybe it was a good call. We'll see it at the end of the season, but I think they should have
think it
played
was-
him. I think
yeah.
you play the young guy. I think you see what he's got, and then you show him that you got his back.
I think for the 1 week it's fine saying, listen, if you're underperforming, you're not going to be playing. But he obviously didn't play this week, but they say thumb injury. But I kind of questioned it a little bit because it was like,
When did that
are,
happen?
are you really, really
They had
hurt?
a-
Or do
they
we
had-
want Fitzpatrick?
What
to
They
be-
had
like
him
a
throwing
hangnail,
in the
like, or-
they had him throwing in the tunnel. They showed that. at
And you're
Jets
playing the
game.
Jets, so it's like, if there is a game to come back after getting benched,
It's
the Jets.
it's the Jets. So maybe the
I
injury
would
is
love to
real,
start against the Jets.
but I don't know. I think they're fine.
I actually agree with John. I think I would have just left him out there because I think once you make that decision, you got to stick with him. Like you've already made that decision there because, and I agree with Tom too. It was a bye week thing. They definitely planned that to do that way.
I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't mind that
I think
either.
it's stupid when you're playing Aaron Donald and you're putting the kid in the first game. I don't care if he has a bye week or not. And
ridiculous.
Jalen Ramsey.
That
you don't want
that
to
I
put him
didn't
against
mind.
the Monstars.
Like what? It's just
That I
stupid.
didn't mind. My thing is just he is. I still want to see what Tua really is. I feel like he's good. He looks like he's good, but I see 2 games under 100 yards passing. He's a rookie. I don't want to judge too soon, so I don't really know what they're doing.
I think the big question that the Dolphins are going to have to look at is should have they drafted Herbert instead of Tua? Coming into the draft, I said Tua. I love Tua. Injury. If he's fully healed, I would pick him.
Dude,
But Herbert surprised me. He is a baller.
He's in another level.
But I think he surprised everybody.
Yeah.
I think everybody was like, let's see what this kid Herbert.
He
Oh my
applies
gosh,
Anthony
look at this
Lynn.
kid.
But
This
by
kid's
the
throwing
way,
everybody.
no. The scouts said he was the most NFL ready with the lowest ceiling. So they were saying if Tua was healthy, he has a greater ceiling.
Right.
The fact of the matter is I'm not sure what this ceiling, this proverbial ceiling they're talking about, because if this is the best that Herbert gets,
He's a baller.
I'm in.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
So if they're saying that he can't run and create, but his arm is ridiculous, whatever they're saying about a ceiling it doesn't apply, because really at the end of the day, what do you want? You want a great quarterback. So I don't really care who escapes out of the pocket the best. If they can't make the throws when they need to, a la Lamar Jackson, it doesn't matter their escapability. Eventually, they can't escape, and they have to throw theirself out of trouble. And Justin Herbert, when you see him on the field and you see him make throws, you're like, bro, this guy can put that ball anywhere at any time, any moment. And that's why I still love Tua. I still think Tua is going to have a great career. I hope he does. I love when guys get picked. I love quarterbacks and they end up being great, except for when they're in the NFC East. I want them to have great careers. And I ask you now, seeing the layout of the NFL, do the Kansas City Chiefs repeat as Super Bowl champions? Knowing how difficult it is to repeat.
Yes, I think so. They still have the best player in football, one of the top 3 best coaches in football, offensive genius Andy Reid is, and their defense is better. Last year, their defense was horrible. Their defense has been a little better this year than they were last year. I'll say that will repeat. I think Mahomes is still the best player in football. It's who would take them down? AFC, they're going to beat the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers are a threat to them. Steelers are 10-0, easiest schedule in football. I think the Chiefs are still a lot better. I think if it's a team that's going to beat the Chiefs, you're looking at the NFC. I don't think it's the AFC. So if they get to, and they're going to get to the Super Bowl, maybe the Saints because they're so well-rounded, but I still don't think so.
Damn.
I would take the Chiefs still.
I don't think they want to run into Tennessee again. Well, Baltimore doesn't, but I think Tennessee's a lot better this year too. I think the Chiefs are going to come out of the AFC. My thing is I have this weird feeling that the winners are going to come out of the NFC just because of how you said it's so hard to repeat. So I'm going to say no, because my thing is, if it's Green Bay, we know Green Bay's problem is the rushing
Green Bay ain't beating the Chiefs.
Right. And if we know their
What about the
problems,
Saints with their
That'd be an exciting
Saints
game.
could.
that's what I'm saying. I would love to see that Super Bowl of Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes. And my thing
Drew
is,
Brees. Awesome. That would be awesome.
or Drew Brees and Patrick
No,
Mahomes.
Rodgers,
That's great, too.
Mahomes is more.
I
electric.
still don't want to sleep on Tampa, even
Those
though they've
arms.
had their issues.
Tampa, yeah. People are hating on Tampa, but they're going to win the next 5 games. They have a very easy schedule.
I think Tampa's house is falling apart.
I think
No,
that
they're
too,
not.
but I still think I don't want to sleep on you know when you.
Oh, no, and I'm not sleeping. Listen, it's Tom Brady. It's the GOAT.
They're going to be 11-5, and
but
all
what
the
do you- what do
haters
you-
are going to go away.
But what are you going to do? You got Brady out there, but their defense is up and down. Sometimes they play solid, stopping everybody. Sometimes everybody runs all over them. So I think that leaves them suspect. I think the Saints have a better, well-rounded defense. I think the Chiefs can repeat. I'm going to go with the Chiefs. I called that in the beginning of the season. And their defense is good enough, which is, I think, all you need when you have that kind of potent offense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna backtrack on my Super Bowl pick.
The Cowboys.
No. I'm gonna. What I mean by that is I chose a team a few weeks
Explain to
back,
me.
and I jumped off them, and we always have an overreaction Wednesday, right?
Right.
Tennessee Titans.
So I'm gonna go back to the Tennessee Titans. I
I
feel
like that pick.
I feel like for some reason, dude.
Someone gets shocked in the playoffs.
I
every
know.
year.
I just
That's what it
just
is.
feel
Playoffs
like
are different.
I feel like Tennessee's game matches up against anybody because nobody
They're very suspect.
wants to be hit by a big running back in the cold playoff time.
I think the Steelers would welcome the Titans.
I think the Steelers would welcome the Titans, and I think
That front four of Steelers is the
when
best we've seen in years.
should the Titans meet up with the Kansas City Chiefs, I think the Titans can't score at will the way the Chiefs do. Like
Tennessee's defense wouldn't be good enough.
Exactly. So I think
They're making
if they
improvements,
score
though.
and they control the ball and they control the clock, Tennessee can't do anything because they're running the game. If they're playing from behind, they're not running the ball. They're throwing the ball. And I think their defense is so suspect. I think, what are they, 11th in the league now in pass defense? Something like that, 10th or 11th? Worst. 10th or 11th worst in the league. So I think with that, I mean, you got Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Travis Kelce, and Le'Veon Bell catching balls out the backfield.
You'd say the Chiefs have the best offense, right? We'd say the Chiefs have the best offense in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think we would all agree with that.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I don't care what numbers.
Yeah.
No, I would. Yeah,
They still have the best offense.
I would.
Yeah.
You know, you have the best offensive player. I would agree with that. You'd probably put like a team like the Packers up there.
Yeah, Packers are second in my
Pretty
opinion.
close.
Yep.
Right.
What is he about to say right now?
Tell me how the Tennessee Titans only have 24 less points.
Yeah, I know. The last couple of weeks, I've been filling it up.
I'm just saying. I'm. Listen, the Titans can also put up points when the offense
can.
is right. So what I mean by that is
They need a run game, though.
But they have to run. Their
Plus-
scoring
teams,
is
guys,
predicated on running.
the teams that the Chiefs are playing, right? They're all in the bottom half in defense. The Chargers are 3-8. Justin Herbert's doing his best as a rookie to keep them in the game with his arm.
Coaching's horrible there.
Coaching is horrible. The coaching is bad right now. The Broncos are destroyed. They're 4-7. Okay, and they. I mean,
They've been decimated
who's their
every
offense?
way.
Well, Cortland Sutton went down for the year. They have no running game because Philip Lindsay and Melvin Gordon. I don't know where they are.
They don't have a quarterback when they're healthy.
And Drew, yeah, and then the Raiders defense has given up 319 points. So what we're saying is, the Chiefs have the easiest road. The Titans are in a division with the Colts, who have arguably the best defense in the NFL, right? Top five, and cross
Until this week, where we give a lot of points, we were top five in every spot.
across, and I would agree with you.
You're
No matter
probably
what this
still
week
top
says.
five.
what
What
this
you
week
gave up,
said.
you're probably
No matter
still
what
top
this
five.
week says, you have the Colts.
Still a good defense, yes.
You have the Houston Texans, who have underperformed, and they let go of their coach and have been pretty good
Bill
since.
O'Brien blew that franchise up.
It blew the franchise up, and they're on a 2-game win streak, and since
was
they've
so
been very
bad.
good.
It's really sad though that Bill O'Brien, the GM, got
To
Bill
show-
O'Brien, the head coach, fired.
Well, he sucked at his job. He
He
sucked.
was so bad at being a GM. That
You have
it
a
just made him
superstar
so-
QB.
By the way,
QBs.
this is the reason why, though. This is the reason why you don't see it too often, where the coach is the
gets
GM,
autonomy. Yeah.
because the problem
Tends not to work out.
is that
Belichick.
even if you're a great play
You need a
caller,
special person.
even if you're a great play caller, if you remember Eric Mangini,
Oh,
Eric
God.
Mangini
Jets,
was
Cleveland
actually a good coach, but he was an awful GM, and he continued to he continued to bring horrible pieces and then mismanage those pieces because they shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
And you can't have too many guys doing the same thing, and this is why you need a
General
different
manager.
perspective, someone who
Right.
just does that specialty. So it's a
It's
real
300-foot
tough
view.
hill. It's a tough hill to climb. So I'm just looking at him, saying to myself, I like the Tennessee Titans the most right now. It depends to me if Drew Brees is healthy. He's got 11 fractured ribs with a punctured lung. How does he come back? How does he look at 41 years old? Very tough, right? And Seattle, as much as I want to say Russell Wilson is looks like the best player in football,
They're not good enough, though.
the defense has given up 304 points. Very, very tough to win when you have no defensive rush at all.
The only thing that they have going for them is their defense now is playing the best they've been playing with Jamal Adams healthy and Carlos Dunlap healthy. I think they're like third in pass rush since those two guys been on the field together.
And
Could be.
So it could be trending up, and we know what
And-
Russ, he could do stuff, but I still don't think
and
they're good
Quentin
enough.
Dunbar's
Yeah,
coming back next week.
Yeah, but
And he's a big corner.
Their
for them.
pass rush is great, but their secondary is
Secondary's
horrendous.
garbage.
Absolutely. So it doesn't matter how they're passing the ball; they're just dumping off. Still, nobody's.
What
Their
about-
thing is they
nobody's
keep
there to
picking
cover.
on the corner that Jamal's supposed to be shading while he's blitzing. So they're leaving. It's sometimes it's Shaquem Griffin, sometimes it's just the opposite where Quentin Dunbar's supposed to be, but no one's there. No one noteworthy's there.
Yep.
So they just pick on him the whole game.
Turns into a blown play.
What about your NFC then?
No, but see, that's the thing. I just feel like there's so many good teams in the NFC that the person that beats those teams is going to get out, and I feel like the AFC has so many sneaky teams that someone might get snuck that we're not expecting.
I'm taking Tampa Bay.
Can we agree? Can we agree? Packers, Saints, Bucks, Seahawks. Those are your 4 top teams.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say so.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would assume, and this is of course interchangeable, and we're going to interchange it because of the players on the team. You're going to see Saints, Seahawks, Seahawks, Bucks, Saints, Bucks, right? One of those 3. I don't think at the end of the day,
You're the Rams too.
I don't.
I was just about to say LA.
They're not for real.
No, they're not for real.
I don't think they're for real either, but
Or Packers, Bucks, whatever. You're going to see one of those 4 teams.
Yes, of course.
You can interchange them.
Mm-hmm.
Do those teams have enough to stop a Chiefs team? Do they have enough to? Are any of the run defenses good enough to stop a Derrick Henry when he's running downhill on them?
yeah, that's the issue. See, I think if the Chiefs make it and it's Chiefs Packers, the Chiefs run game really isn't. I mean, Le'Veon hasn't really caught on yet. And
Clyde
Clyde,
Edwards-Hilaire's had a good
he's
rookie
taken
season.
a big step back though since the way his
recently.
his season started.
Yeah.
So the Packers have only lost to teams that really run the ball down their throat, basically, exception of the Colts game
Packers
to
are,
a degree.
I think, too soft.
But that's an offense that can match up with them and maybe give them the Raiders treatment where it doesn't matter if you score 35 points, we're going to score 40.
Right.
And I really like the Packers. My brother's favorite team is the Packers. We watch Packers every Sunday. So I've watched every single one of their games. I think there's a stat that they're, I believe, 0-2. Or no. There's some stat where they've beaten a bunch of bad teams, and when they play teams above 500, they're like 1-3. So they've been beating bad
Tom
teams.
Brady's the same though this year.
I know, but I like Tampa just because, first of all, they have Vikings, Falcons, Lions, Falcons next to the end of the year. So they're going to be.
You like their schedule to make a push, but do you like them to be the last team standing?
I like them to beat the Packers. We saw them destroy the Packers. I think that's a bad matchup for the Packers. So if they can avoid the
I don't
Saints,
think that's gonna happen
they're
again.
0-2 against the Saints. If they could somehow, obviously it's just got to happen. If the Saints get knocked out by the Packers, which the Saints don't want to see the Packers, that's a bad matchup for them. Aaron Rodgers tears them up every time they play. If they can avoid the Saints, I think they give the Chiefs a game. You're not putting Tom Brady in the Super Bowl and not thinking that game's going to be close, right?
See, I think
see
the
any
Bucks-
better playoff scenario?
Oh my God, it'd be
I
amazing.
think the Bucks
dude.
actually want to
Sick.
see the. I think the Bucks actually want to see Saints again, though.
I think they want to see the Saints if Taysom Hill's quarterback.
No, I'm saying because
yeah,
it's so
absolutely.
hard.
I think they want to see the Saints right now.
Could you imagine?
yeah.
Could you imagine going into the divisional round and the matchups
Oh, it's going to be
to
fantastic.
get into the conference championship is Aaron Rodgers against Tom Brady
Oh,
and
Drew Brees or
and Drew Brees
That's
against
amazing
Russell Wilson.
football.
Could you imagine?
I'd actually rather see it the other way.
well, what I'm just saying,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever
yeah,
the
yeah.
matchups. But could you?
you're seeing good football.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine watching those 4 QBs left at the end of the year? It would be because here's the thing. On the flip side,
So that you're saying the
In the
best
AFC
football we're going to see for this season is going to come in 2021.
Yep.
Yes.
so by
As
the way,
well, everything else, that's good.
as well,
Thank God.
the crazy in the AFC, it's almost the complete opposite. If the best 4 teams right now, record wise, end up in the divisional round,
like you can see
you're
some
gonna
blowouts.
you're gonna see Josh Allen, Ryan Tannehill, a very old
Ben
Roethlisberger, and Patrick Mahomes. So like you're not gonna see
One is way
you're-
better than all the
I'm
rest.
not gonna
Yeah.
lie though. I like Ryan Tannehill in that 4 though. I do a lot.
I'm
I think
not-
he's been very.
solid.
He's been solid. He's been
Yeah,
more
I
than
think
solid. Absolutely.
It's gonna be a bold statement, hot take.
but I'm just
I
saying,
think he's a
Eric,
top 10 QB right
Eric,
now.
on this side,
I'm glad you said that low.
Eric, on this side of the bracket, on
Yeah,
this side,
it's
on this side of the
It's
bracket,
leaning
you have
this
Tom
way.
Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees. On this side,
Yeah.
and on this side, you have Josh Allen, Ryan Tannehill,
and then the red
Roethlisberger.
corner.
So you're almost every single week. You're like, okay, just let me know who makes it in the AFC. I'll be watching the NFC, right? And you're. I'm hoping every week goes into OT. Like you just want to see which QB
That would be awesome.
could get him out of just disarray. You know, you're like, dude, they're down. Russell Wilson's got one shot to come down the field. Tom Brady's on the other sideline staring at him, and
Yeah,
Russell
he's
just
sick.
says, "Kick rocks," you know, or like you know, or Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are the only two guys who go out for the coin flip. And you're like, holy crap. And they're looking at each other. And
like a boxing.
And then the
weigh-in.
winner at all
Like a
that's gonna
boxing
face
weigh-in.
Pat Mahomes.
And I could see, I could see Tom Brady looking at him being like, discount, double check this. You know what I mean? Like, get out of my face.
That's my thing. If you see Tom Brady in that position in the fourth quarter, I still love that position for him more than Aaron Rodgers, more than Drew Brees. If you have Tom Brady in the fourth quarter, I know this
Even
year's
this,
been up
yeah,
and
I
down.
was gonna say,
I know.
this year.
I hope that Bruce Arians and him just get together. Stop throwing so many deep balls. Can I get some short routes?
Yeah, play his best game.
Right.
Yes.
Can we use AB and not force it to AB? Can we use him in a smart way? Mike Evans has been used more now. But if we can put and Ronald Jones is unused. That kid is a baller.
Roro is
9
absolutely a
carries
beast.
for 60 yards. Why is he only touch the ball 9 times? Let's get him to rock more. Use him more. Set up Brady. I think if they put it together, which is the big question, they're the best team, I think.
Could you imagine what the NFC West would have been if the 49ers were healthy?
Yeah, I said that earlier
yeah.
in the year. It's so stacked.
The Seahawks, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the 49ers. It's incredible. And by the way,
all NFC year.
you know what?
Who doesn't make it?
Cardinals.
Cardinals just because
Cardinals.
Have to be. Yeah, have to be.
By the way, though,
Lost too many
this year
close
this year 7 teams make it into the playoffs. If the 49ers were healthy,
all 4.
all 4 could
Oh
have
my
actually made it
God.
in, because here's the thing. The Green Bay Packers, the rest of the division is sub 500,
Sub,
5 and 6 and below. In the NFC East, obviously we know.
Yeah.
So the
fire.
only division they would have been lobbying with would have been the Buccaneers at 7 and 5, and it would have been the Cardinals a half a game out from the whole division making the playoffs. That's pretty remarkable, dude. Could you imagine?
That's
7 teams and
that's
the
something.
entire NFC West.
That's every time you play a divisional game, you're like, boy, we got to get ready for war.
I'm gonna give
This
you-
is another long day.
I'm gonna give you another scenario though. Say we're going to the NFC Championship game, and the quarterbacks we're looking at are Jared Goff.
I'm on suicide watch
Yeah.
Just end that right there.
I'd kill
because your
myself.
mind is working into
trying
a
to say,
point
who's
where
another bad?
You're trying to give me
No,
anxiety.
I'm trying to think who was the other. I didn't name in my head, but let's say it's
Daniel
Jared Goff,
Jones or Alex.
Jared
Smith.
Goff, Alex Smith.
Yeah.
If Alex Smith is
Let's
there,
say it's
that would be
Taysom,
sad.
Taysom Hill and
Yeah, I would be
Tom
a,
Brady.
I'd be a little saddened by that.
If Alex Smith, if the Washington team won and made it that far, and Alex Smith has a playoff run in him after what he came back from,
I'd applaud it.
I would actually be rooting for Washington. And it kills me to say that, but like you, dude, at a certain point you have to put whatever fandom you have to decide and root for people.
it's awesome.
And
Yeah.
like Alex Smith's story is incredible. So-
16 leg surgery.
and that's why, by the way, Josh Jacobs,
like that.
They were going to cut his leg off.
they were going to cut his leg off.
He said, "No, I want to try something else."
No, it wasn't him. He was under.
It was his wife, right?
His wife made the decision.
She was like,
for
no,
him.
he's going to want to play football.
His wife made.
She saw the bag leave the room. If you cut his leg off, we're not getting any of this money.
Let me tell
She
you,
was like, "Nobody's leaving here without a leg."
you guys are sick in the head.
Oh yeah.
You know what, man? All right,
I'm sure his wife isn't like
football.
Yeah, we're just joking.
Football
Just throw it
here.
in a bag.
Football is completely out this week for us. We're in 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Time flies.
Let's go.
Time does
Time.
fly.
I wanna move on here a little bit. What I want to talk about is baseball. Our Mets have a new owner.
Let's go.
Uncle Stevie is in the building. He said the other day there's a lot of irons on the fire.
Oh yeah.
They just made another announcement that Sandy Alderson just said they're going to get a little more aggressive.
I like it. Daddy likey.
Am I allowed to be this excited? Am I
You're
allowed?
not
or
whipping
is-
anything
No,
out,
you
right?
are.
As long as you're not whipping anything out, we're good, bro.
Listen, it's been a while.
Unless the NFL's watching, gonna cause
Well,
us.
it's
I have to
some
tell you
kinda-
something real quick. RG3 replaced by Trace McSorley, who just threw a 70-yard touchdown pass.
Oh, and he threw it to Hollywood Brown, who's benched.
70-yard touchdown, Trace McSorley.
So it's 19-14 right now.
Wow.
Oh my God! Sorry, but that was just
No, that's great. That's
hilarious.
great.
It's okay. I was gonna say something before, but we were so into the other conversation. I was watching RG3 throw an interception.
So Could we another RG3? I mean, the guy had like 9 games of greatness and then just gone.
Horrible.
Tours like a.
And it was blamed on Kyle Shanahan. It's a crazy. It's Mike Shanahan. It's a crazy how it's blamed on. But
Shanahanigans.
the Shanahanigans. So for me, I'm looking at the off season, bro.
I heard George Springer.
I'm telling you right now. If
Chill
they,
out, Yankees fan. Let us have this
if
moment.
they sign, oh no, I'm gonna get
If
into
we
it.
signed Gary Sanchez after we replaced him to a big deal, I don't know. Whatever.
The
Just continue.
Yankees. The Yankees. I'm gonna get there.
I mean, we're full of money, so I guess we just give
He's
it
sitting
out.
here like, oh, the Mets are confident again.
not even listening right now. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
I'm gonna get there. The Mets signed George Springer. Listen. There's not. It doesn't take a lot to get things going for me at my age, right? The George Springer. I'm just saying here, brother. George Springer comes to New York. George Springer comes to New York.
Better than Jerry Springer coming in here.
And we sign
know, that's
one
a lot of
more.
money, too.
We sign one more free agent, guys. The Metsies are coming for you.
LosMetsis.com.
They're coming for you, bro. Now let me ask you, who is going to be the head coach of the New York Mets when the season starts? Guys, we cannot go with Rojas.
I was about to say, aren't they keeping Rojas?
For now. Who are they going to go with?
Beltran.
I hope so.
Yeah, we were saying that if they bring it back, just like they did with whatchamacallit, but I still don't know. I don't know
The
about
Yankees
Beltran.
just tendered. The Yankees just tendered Gary Sanchez. I want to tell you a little something. You ready for this?
Please do.
What do you think about Gary Sanchez?
Up and down relationship. At first, he was a home run hitter, and I was like, "Oh, this guy's awesome."
All right,
Sucks at catching, and he sucked last year.
Last 2 years.
Abysmal.
Okay. You know that he was ranked the 4th best catcher in all of baseball on a
Who
recent
the hell's
list.
doing the rankings? He bat like 100 something.
Stevie Wonder.
Like, what?
Could you?
We got no good catchers in the baseball right now.
there probably isn't.
Could you
Like,
imagine?
what the hell?
Could you imagine where it gets to the point?
Who was number 3?
Some loser.
They have,
Wilson
they have
Some loser.
Grandal
Yasmani?
is number 1. Real Muto was 2.
Yadier?
No, Yachty was 9.
He was 9.
Wow.
And I forgot the guy's
down on the
name.
list.
What is this, the
I'm
Madden
surprised. I was
rankings? Like, this
surprised.
is shitty.
Oh, it is,
Something-
plus.
Gary Sanchez was so bad.
Travis Darno made the list?
Where you just made the list. Where does bro? First of all, I don't think the Yankees re-sign Aaron Judge. I think Aaron Judge is gone.
No, they will. He's the face right now.
I think Aaron Judge is gone.
He's the face.
I think Aaron Judge is gone. I'm going to tell you.
He's the face. He brings attention.
Look at the Yankees roster.
What are they going to do with the money? They just give out money to anybody.
The last eight rookies on deals that came up 2 years before their rookie deals expired, they gave them long extensions, including guys like Hicks, okay, Severino, who didn't play this season. Yeah. They do it all the time. Aaron Judge on his last year still haven't given him a contract. Why? He's the face of your franchise. You can get him low. Still have not given him a contract.
He's on his way
Hurt,
out.
consistent.
That's definitely a
didn't show
sign.
up in the playoffs, but he's young.
So then why are you keeping him?
Because
That's what he's saying.
He's
So
one
then
of the
he's gone.
faces of baseball. We have money. You guys are acting like we're a small market team. We have money to give out.
We have
Can't-
money now.
You have money right now, so why aren't
We
you
have
signing
money
him?
now.
We will. We're just waiting to fill out the rest of the roster.
It's my
That's all
money,
it is.
and I want it now.
Now, I'll always go back and forth with the Yankees. I love that we're
I-
a big market team,
can
but
I-
we make stupid signings.
Can I tell you guys a little hot take?
Hit it.
Aaron Judge is a Met, so get used to it, bitch.
Take that.
That's funny.
Because he's coming to Queens.
And if he goes there, he'll probably suck.
You
That's
know
the
what?
way it goes.
Nah, it's a whole.
That's the way it goes.
It's a new day. There's no way in. There's no way possible, my friend. And let me tell you,
The heel turn begins.
this new Yankee.
This is the small market boy just hoping he gets up to the big
Yankee
market.
way
Queens isn't a
is
small
this
market.
new Yankee way.
The baby
Agree
brother.
with me.
The
Next
baby
door.
brother.
Agree
You
with
know
me.
that.
Because y'all have 27 championships. That's the only reason.
Agree.
That's the
Agree
only
with me here.
reason.
You ready?
I
You ready
agree
for?
with
You ready for?
That's
it?
baseball.
This new Yankee regime going on
If
here.
we bought Babe Ruth, it'd be
Cashman's great, but this whole new Yankee thing going on with the small whatever the analytics is soft. SAWFT, bro. Soft. I'm telling you right now.
AF.
It is not. This is not typical Yankee baseball where you're looking at it, you're like, dude, this team's just gonna win, bro. They have names for days, and it doesn't matter.
You know, if Judge does come here,
Tell me.
Oh my God.
I got
such
a
a
name.
fantasy.
I got. Hey, listen. Listen.
Talk to me.
Fantasy. Talk to me, Goose.
Talk to me, Goose.
If Judge comes to the Mets, I would not be surprised if Carlos Mendoza comes over to the Mets.
Interesting.
Tom's getting mad. Tom's getting mad.
care?
Tom's in his feelings right now. I don't
Do I
care.
care?
I don't care.
You guys,
It's my ball. I'm going home.
you had one good year. You made the World Series. You didn't win. Now it's been a while. You're all just trying to get your hope back.
Hey, bro.
fine.
Hey, bro. Guess what?
Make baseball fun again. It stinks.
You just said a couple minutes ago that he was the face of the Yankees, face of baseball.
Face these.
It would really chap your ass, Lloyd, if the face of baseball left your team
I don't get the reference.
and came to my team.
You don't get the reference?
Nope.
Isn't that Dumb and Dumber?
Of course it is.
Oh, I've seen that. But
Absolutely.
Is it?
I don't care.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Do you want to hear the most
You
annoying
can be
noise?
excited. This is all like hypothetical right now, so it's fine.
Do you want to hear the most
Not like you
annoying
signed Aaron Judge yesterday.
He's gonna call you if it happens, though.
Oh man,
fine.
you know
Oh,
I'm
he's gonna
emailing you, bro. I'm emailing you, and as you open the email, yo, did you see that signing?
Yep.
This is what Mets fans always do. They just hope.
By the way,
pray,
I'm
something happens.
gonna send you an envelope. It's gonna say, "Congrats, Aaron Judge is a Met." It's gonna have anthrax in it.
I'd like to come on here. I'd like to come on here
terrorist.
next year when you guys are in the
Horrible.
playoffs. We're in the playoffs. Let's pick. This is what I said would happen.
I am very, very good at making bets with co-hosts. Would you like to make a bet?
Ooh.
I'm very good. My
don't care
track
that much
record's
about
great.
baseball.
Ask Mercado.
I don't care that much about baseball. Smart move.
Yeah, my track record's great. Ask my co-host. So
Whatever.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah,
But-
he tells me to have his back, and then he throws the stab. Have my back. Just turn around and look that way real quick.
No, all I'm saying is
Little brother.
All I'm saying is this. Okay, you know what we got to do, which we almost didn't do, and we have extra co-hosts on with us today. Bro flew in here, so let's put these guys to the test. So everyone knows, I'm stomping a mud hole in Mercado in our Stone Cold picks of the week. Mercado's picks are really actually just ice cold.
I will tell you
picks
that
of the
making
week.
picks is basically what I do. So
And mine are fire.
By
And
what
I'm
he
just-
does, he means he texts me that I don't believe this parlay didn't hit this week.
all right, I go like every week. I go like
And we
10 for 10 and lose on the last game. I'm
and
like,
we
God
go
damn it.
and
On that
we go-
11th one, and it's always the game that you picked. You were like, you know what? I'm gonna pick this
I've
one.
been telling
It's gonna
him.
be
Patriots,
Flying up
Ravens.
against the spread.
I was one for like
Dude,
$700. I was like, Ravens money line. too. We just gotta
1700
win.
gone.
I've been telling him, I'm like, yo, I know it's a lot of money, but you're not Nostradamus. You can't get every game right.
If I was in a pool where it just wins mattered, I'd be in first place by a trillion.
Yeah. Except it doesn't. You suck.
Bet
So-
the
All right, let's make picks right now.
All right, ready? You have a betting app on
I'm
your
saying
phone?
if Hope
I have
was a nickel, I'd be a
700.
rich man.
All right, go to DraftKings.
Okay.
Go to DraftKings. I'm gonna go to DraftKings.
Taking all the
Go to
favorites.
DraftKings. Go to DraftKings.
We're going
Everyone go to
DraftKings or FanDuel?
I'm more of a FanDuel guy.
Yeah,
but
I
I
have
have
FanDual.
Go to DraftKings.
See,
That's
everybody.
What I have.
All right, so we all got to conform.
All right,
You
what's
just
up?
made the list. Bless you.
Thank you.
Salute. I was talking to the guy in the back, not you.
It's like that.
Shut your face.
How you make the picks? Just straight money line or using spreads?
No, use the spread.
Use the spread.
Well, I see you guys posting on Facebook. Looks like you're just taking picks.
I love the spread.
Yeah, but we're picking with the spread.
How about the Eagles covering with the touchdown?
Oh yeah.
What
How
a
about Richard
shame.
Rodgers?
and they go for two.
Richard
They go for
Rodgers
two.
catching the jump ball again.
How about the guy? How about the guy?
Horrible.
How about the better? How about the better who lost $500,000 on that touchdown?
Oh my
Unreal.
God! He wrote a letter to the NFL.
Nah, because they're shady.
Yeah, I would have been
You know
sick.
they're-
Some guy bet 25
course.
grand. Des Bryant had 35 receiving yards today. It's not a good bet.
Yeah. All right, ready?
Has
ready?
he caught a ball
Ready
yet?
for it?
Probably not.
Ready for it? I have
Unless it was Trace McSorley.
I have the Excel spreadsheet.
That's my guy.
We have me here.
Please, let's do this. Oh, this is
we
going to be great.
are. Stop begging, bro.
Yeah.
Begging is
Take
not
off that ugly hoodie, dude.
begging is not a good color on you. All right.
All right.
Oh my God.
Tom.
Yeah.
Here we go. I know. I'm putting your name on the Excel spreadsheet. All right. DraftKings. Everyone have it up.
I'm
First
there.
game. Bengals Dolphins. Bengals plus 11.5. Dolphins minus 11.5. I am thinking to myself that this is a Bengals covering with a plus 11.5.
Hate to agree with you, but I do. Spreads that are always that high tend to be covered.
You don't have to take the game. I'm writing it as a potential for me. Do you want it as a potential?
Oh, I thought we were picking we're just picking ones that we want.
No, top five games.
Yeah, we picked
Oh,
five.
okay.
And-
Our five
and-
locks. It's the 5 locks.
Five locks.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, look,
Same, not
Then no,
picking.
Each
then no, I'm
one-
not picking that
Okay.
game. I'm not picking that game.
each one
Steelers
one
won
of the games-
19-14.
Each one of the games has a point value: 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 5 point. So obviously, you want whatever you would consider your guaranteed lock to be your 5 point.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I like that.
So, all right. So So Browns, Titans are giving 6. Anybody like this game?
I do.
Who you taking?
You want
Tennessee giving 6.
Tennessee giving 6? You like it for any points here? How many points? You like it as a
How did it break down before? I know you just said it. But I was looking.
1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 5
Up to
point.
5 points.
You want your 5 point to be like your slam
Solid,
dunk.
yeah.
You want your
Slam
1 point to
dunk.
be like your last favorite game.
Let me look at the. I'm gonna have that be my 3-point game.
3-point game.
3-point
Wow, that's
game.
big.
It's gonna be in the middle. I'm confident in it, but I see another game that could
Okay.
potentially be my 5-point.
Yeah, you already know what my 5 point is.
I don't know who your 5 point is. Is it the Jets? Raiders Jets?
Yeah,
Is that it?
probably.
Spade
Let's
to-
go through this.
Yeah, you go through it.
Well, the point spread is 8. They haven't lost any game by less than like 10. But they won the Broncos game. Let's see.
See, it involves a lot of thinking here.
Yeah, the point thing screwed me up.
Bro, this Giants Seahawks game where the Giants
Oh,
are-
that's a lot of points.
I know Daniel Jones is not playing, but
But
is
10?
is Colt McCoy going to do that bad?
I know.
100%.
Giants are a good football team.
Dude, it's funny. I'm second guessing myself because I'm thinking like I'm actually putting money in this app, and I'm looking. I'm like, that payout's not good enough for me.
I'm gonna also put the Chiefs. I'm gonna also put the Chiefs giving 13.5 against the
Yeah,
Broncos.
Ton.
I mean, the Broncos are just anemic right now, and I got a feeling the Chiefs are gonna, not to anything the Broncos are doing. I think the Chiefs are gonna stomp them.
So many good games.
See, it's like I love the Chiefs there, but 13.5 is so many points.
Can I move the
But they've
Titans
covered
game
that,
to my
they've covered
2?
that 4 times
you
this
can.
season.
All right.
You know what I mean? So I was the same
Is it
way.
in Denver or KC? Is the bottom team the home team?
It's in KC.
I'll tell you what. I don't know where I'm putting the points yet, but I'm right with my Indianapolis Colts minus 3.5 against Houston. Let me just write it down, then I'll figure out.
I'll take that Chiefs game as the Chiefs to cover 13.5. 2 touchdowns. That'll be my 3-point.
Okay.
I'll take the same thing, but that'll be my 4-point.
I love Indy. They're bouncing back after the loss last week.
I'm also. I think there's a lot of turmoil right now. I'm also going to take the Packers to beat the Eagles by more than 8.5.
I agree. I want that one as well.
Same.
Philly stinks.
Yeah.
Philly traditionally does cover the spread because they just kind of hang
What they
in
did
there.
last week.
Yep.
But I just
Packers are too explosive.
I'm gonna make that'll be my 3.
3.
That'll be my 3-point. The Packers over the Eagles.
I'll take that. That'll be my 4-point play.
My 1 point's gonna be the Texans getting 3.5.
I was looking at that.
We gonna handle our business. Get Tennessee minus 6. I'm gonna take that now. If they're looking at the other games,
What are you getting?
Tennessee minus 6 against Cleveland. Cleveland's losing starts now.
I got my whole thing. My 5 point's gonna be the Raiders giving 7.5.
So I got 3 so far.
Raiders are showing 7.5. I got 8 on the screen.
I have 8.
Oh,
on mine.
okay.
I've-
8's fine. They're gonna win.
Oh,
by
7.5 is 8. Is same
Yeah,
thing.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to lose by 7.5. I think you're all right.
Yeah, I'll take the
I said they were
I'll take the
getting
Raiders to cover.
No, I'm saying
I'll take
like
no. What I was talking
Who's
half
about.
playing
point.
QB
15,
this week
16.
for the
We've been the way I've
Jags?
been doing it. I just took my turn.
Who's playing QB for the Jags this week?
Glennon. They came out and said that Glennon's starting this
Like
week.
Glennon.
Yeah. He had a good week.
Give me the Jags
Raiders
plus
pick is
10.
5 point.
Give me the Jags plus 10 against the
I
Vikings.
Might play this week.
And what did you say?
The Raiders my 5-point play. You wrote that down already?
No.
All right, so take that.
I actually might play this.
I need one more game, then I'll give you the
breakdown.
I like the Jags to cover 10.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you what, they lose, but close.
Yeah, and that kid Robinson running around is a beast.
Yeah, he's been a good back.
I think that's going to be a both running game all over the
The
place.
only thing that scares me is
Mike Lenning pulling his Jag out.
No, it's in Minnesota, so it's cold. They're a warm weather team.
I'm gonna actually take a very awkward division rival game that probably will come back to haunt me. But I'm gonna say the Saints -2.5. I think they win by a field goal.
I think they might lose this week too.
They can,
Yeah.
but because the spread's so close, doesn't make me feel that
100%,
nervous. You know, it's
100%.
like, all right, I'll take the better team.
100%.
The Jags, you can put them in as my 2-point play.
Jeez,
You just need a 1-point play, Dan.
Yeah, I'm
Tom
gonna
needs
take
a 5-point play,
Oh,
or Tom
jeez.
needs another game, not really a 5-point, just whatever game.
1, 2, 3. All right, I got my 5.
I'll take the Rams over the Cardinals. I think the spread is 3. I think that game's a push. I think they
They're
win by
gonna
3.
bounce back.
I think they win by 3.
I'm ready to give it to you when you're.
All right, Tom, who's your last one?
I have they're my 5-pointer too. Give me the Colts -3.5 against the Texans. 5. I'm riding with my team. I think it's about a 10-point win for us.
Ride or die.
It's ridiculous.
You're gonna be
Go
sick.
All right, it's ridiculous,
All
but
right, give me
say what you want.
Sick
Jeff,
when Deshaun
Jeff,
kicks you by
4 at 4. Give me Tennessee -6 against the Browns.
Okay.
You and I are definitely the jinxers.
At 3, give me the Packers -8.5.
What else would
Okay.
Jets fans do?
At 2, give me the
Spoilers.
at 2, give me the Jags +10, and
I
at
thought you were gonna
1,
say
give me the Chiefs.
Bears.
The Chiefs.
Oh, that looks good. That looks real good.
Broke a sweat on that
Looks
one.
real good. Had to use my brain a little bit.
Little bit.
I have to pick my 5th game.
A little bit.
I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go here. All right. So mine, I'm gonna take with my 5-point play. I'm gonna take the Chiefs -13.5.
Ooh, that's a lot of points.
With my 4-point play, I'm gonna take the Bengals getting 11.5. With my 3-point play, I'm gonna take the Packers giving 8.5. With my 2-point play, I'm gonna take the Seahawks giving 10 to the Giants. And with my 1-point play, I'm going to take the Saints 2.5. That's where I'm at. Dan, you got Rams by 3. You have Jaguars getting 10. You have Chiefs covering 13.5. You got the Packers covering 8.5. You have the Raiders covering 8. Eric, you have the Texans getting 3.5.
Lock.
Titans giving 6. Packers giving 8.5. Chiefs giving 13.5. Raiders giving 8. 5-point
Packers
plays
are
are
making me
riding
nervous.
for you guys big time. Tom, you
Yeah.
have
I need them all to hit.
you have Chiefs giving 13.5 for your 1.
So behind.
Jaguars getting 10 for 2. Packers giving 8.5 for 3. Titans giving 6 for 4. Colts giving 3.5 for 5.
I love it.
Man.
Do you know what's funny? When I hear it out loud, the only thing that makes me nervous is the Packers. And the
That
Eagles
feels like
suck.
a game the Eagles cover, right? It's like
Hey, we both lost money when we bet the Packers to beat the Vikings.
yeah, we did.
I picked Tua's game. It was a week of upsets.
2 weeks in a row, I was 1 game away.
You were
from
pretty upset.
over
it was-
$500.
By the end of the week, I was pretty upset.
It was a whole day of upset.
Boys, listen.
What's up, Papa?
This has been a great day of sports.
Absolutely.
And
Phenomenally.
I'm very happy you guys joined us here. Sorry it took so long. To be honest with you, I think every week we sort of get caught up in like game planning for the show, and we don't have a lot of time. And once I do, we have extended time. I was like, yo, I'm calling Tom and I'm seeing if these guys want to roll in, because a lot of times it's tough. You got 4 guys.
Right.
How much, like today, we knew we had time, so everyone could just go on their,
Go on their rants or whatever.
whatever
Yeah.
they want to do. It doesn't matter, right? It was sort of whatever we felt was. It is what it is. So it's always good to have you guys here. You guys know, any Wednesday, I don't have to call you. Seriously.
Don't say that, John. We'll be here before you.
Well, I know,
Then
I know
meet me in the
you're,
cafe.
I know you're a nanny, but if Super
guy.
Nanny over here isn't, can make it out on Wednesdays or can't, whatever.
The
you guys,
Nanny-nator.
you guys are more than welcome Come here anytime. Join us. It's always good to get outside opinions. It's always good for us
Absolutely.
to add a little spice into it. So thank you guys for joining us.
And I
on the
need to
show
see
today.
somebody else's face once in a while.
Hopefully the roller coaster ride was as much fun for you guys today as it was for us.
Absolutely.
It was.
We covered a lot of stuff. A lot.
I mean,
we
we still
almost
got
went through
more.
every damn near team.
We still got more.
It's crazy. Almost. You all right?
Are you all right?
I'm all right.
I'm all right.
I'm just making sure. But listen, I think 3 hours for me before I drop dead is pretty good.
I am starving. I will say that.
I'm still. I still want to go.
You want to just run the show?
You guys leaving?
I think we're leaving.
For real?
But you're a great host.
Just like that?
I mean, Eric, you
don't
want
care.
the big? You
Well,
want
me
the
and
big
Eric
boy
could
chair?
stay out. You want the
I
big
don't
boy
care.
chair?
I'll do any. I don't care. Whatever the group consensus is.
Wow. By the
We're
way,
gonna catch Eric with a sign on the side of the road that says, "I will do anything for anything."
By the way, listen. For me, I have a little bit of time to get home to put my daughter to bed. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do what any co-host would do, knowing he has a great.
He's got
wingman
the
next to him.
backup.
Knowing.
Take over, fellas.
I am going to let my guys take over.
I love it.
Mercado,
I love what you're doing.
please do me a favor. Do not run this ship into the ground.
Oh, I'm running. This
Am I screwed when I
right
leave here?
into one Jets drive? If
One
you leave,
Jets drive.
If you leave, you're gonna see ambulances on the way here.
Oh.
All right. All right.
That's it. Can't do without the. Can't do
You
without
can't
the
do
guy
it
in the
without the
back.
main guy. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
it. I mean, unless you tell me what button to hit on the off, I hit the off button.
Yeah.
Can't be that hard.
There's a light switch right there. That's
right?
about all you got out of me.
That's it. I guess never mind. Listen, when the producer leaves,
Yeah.
You know it's time to go.
It was close. I almost had you.
I'll tell you what. A piece of me is sort of thankful. Someone was gonna call me up and tell me we're not allowed back here.
I can't believe you
again.
let that little.
Yeah, someone was gonna tell me that. But guys, listen, crazy show today. Crazy show. Let's do it again. ASAP.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. We dropped a lot of great knowledge, a lot of great rants. Guys and girls, you're gonna see at least DM and I back in 6 days, 22 hours, probably for less time.
Oh, you know.
But who knows? Maybe not. Maybe more time.
Maybe we take it over.
Maybe we're taking over.
Maybe
Hamilton Radio is really my sports radio.
Maybe we'll just turn it into we make changes.
We change
good.
whatever
Change
we
is
want.
good. Change is good.
We'd run this shit.
That's right.
All right. Guys, love you. We'll
you,
catch you in
guys.
6
Bro
days,
Fluent.
22 hours. This is Bro Fluent, Tom DiFilippo, Eric Sika. Catch them on their YouTube channel. Guys, is there a name for your YouTube channel? Tell them.
It's Bro Fluent.
That's just
It
Bro
is
Fluent.
Easy enough.
Fluent.
Fluent.
We
Bro
stay
Fugazi.
tuned. Actually, go like, subscribe on the YouTube channel. We could make a move to Apple Podcasts. Apple
Very
Podcasts.
soon.
Nice.
Through Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts.
Cool.
And we might be in tune for other moves too. Stay tuned.
Good. I love it, man.
right.
I love it, guys. They have some good content on the show. They have, at one point, they had a lot of people. They kind of had me on for some dumb controversial stuff, and they really do have a lot of great interactions where people will write into the show and they'll kind of go back and forth. So there's definitely some great content on the show. So tune into it. As for us, DM,
Yo,
next Wednesday,
next Wednesday we're here. We're back, and we're gonna be better than ever.
always.
And we're gonna show everybody what
3
we're.
weeks, 3 weeks in a row, 1,000 views.
Let's get it.
This serious.
It's not enough.
No, it's serious. They can't handle
There's
it.
not enough time.
They can't.
There's not enough time in the
Guys,
day.
we're the greatest in the world.
We
Love
need
you
our
guys.
own
We're the
radio
greatest.
show.
We're the
You
greatest.
guys got to jump in.
6 days, 22 hours. Catch us here on Hamilton Radio. This is My Sports Radio with your boys, John Antel, Daniel Mercado. Guys and girls, MSR's out.
You're rocking with the newest radio show on Hamilton Radio, My Sports Radio.
Deals. And Bonds hits one high. It's a deal.